Sweet tell him, sweet tell him, sweet tell him.
Fuck Trap House Mob. I'm back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it. Niggas.
This has to be the explanation of the effort of the Brooklyn Nets and coaching staff tonight. They all had to have gotten extremely high before the game. That is the only explanation about this game. I am joined by Brandon and Jay from BK. AJ and Chubbs will be joining us soon. They were both at the game. They are on their way, but holy shit. It is the preseason. I get that. I don't even care about win. I don't even care about it. We're missing 5 of our top guys that would would help the scoring. It was the lack of effort and just looking at that line of coaches just all sitting there, hands in the lap. And the only time I ever saw Nash do any coaching was when the other team scored. He'd get up, he'd clap once or twice, he'd call out some fucking random thing to the players, which I don't even think heard them, and then would sit back down and just be docile. Like, it was the most lackluster effort. There's got to be. What did you say to me, Brandon, as we got in here?
Well, reggae lovers in the chat with AKA Malika. So shout out Malika first and foremost.
Malika's here. What is up?
But I just think that it seems like to me the team is plotting a way to fire Steve Nash.
I mean, we can get into that, but Jay did say something pre when we were in Cash's pre-spaces where he was talking about how he wishes they would bomb for a bunch of games to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think an 0-5 start would do it.
Yeah.
Did we look ready tonight?
No, I don't even know what we look like tonight, if we're being honest.
We looked like we were still in in practice in HSS.
And I'm going to tell you what's funny, because as we stream, my son has already fallen asleep in the back seat and he's snoring. So that's just like the coaches were doing tonight. They were just sitting there snoring like.
Steve Nash was busy clapping.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier when I was talking to people. It's like, bro, I get it, right? Like, I think every team in the NBA, they'd like to get a W during the preseason, but they really probably don't take it that seriously. But every time I'm looking at the last 2 games, looking at other teams play their preseason, it's like you look at how their starters come in or even their role players, and they all look like they're on the same game plan. And then you look at our team and you're like, what the hell are you doing in practice? Like, what are you telling these guys? Like, where are the, I don't even want to say adjustments, but what are you running in practice with these guys? Like, when you can look at other teams that have teams that have new players on them too, and they look like they've been playing together for a season already. Like, it just...
You're running the same thing in practice that you're doing in the game, which means you're not prepared. You're not preparing your team to play. And for everyone who last few days, last few weeks, what have you, have been, I'm going to use a Cash statement, waxing poetic about how much of a genius Igor is. Where was that tonight? We scored 80 points.
Is he even being given the opportunity?
Where's Trevor Henry at the video coordinator?
God.
Where's Adam Capehorn? Where's Capehorn? Where's Tiago Splitter? Like, where's our Vaughn? Like, I swear to God, I need to find a picture of the coaching staff. I got to rewind the game, and I'm going to literally find and take a snapshot, because it's like, I mean, the only way I guess you could say that like I guess the question for you, outside of what you see on the floor, right? Like calls, like plays being run, noticing that, like, does it move you if, like, do you think like if a bench is just sitting there and everybody looks like they're completely high, there's no movement, it doesn't even look like they're talking to one another, like that's got to be like, does that show part of like just lack of like coaching as well? I mean,
Yeah, it's a lack of preparation because listen to what you all are describing. Do you know the only person who technically should be tired, because everybody, like, for the, well, maybe not everybody, but for the most part, the team looked tired. One person should be tired. That's the man whose fiance gave birth 2 days ago.
yeah.
When you have a new baby, you tired. You
Yeah, 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 exactly. It's like
Why
it's
is
almost like the
everybody else
whole team
tired?
stayed up with him last night. It's like the whole
Right,
team helped give birth
changing
and stayed there.
diapers. You know, it's disgusting. We scored 80 points.
Yeah.
You know
It,
what the coaching staff looks like? It looks like Sean Marks went to go pick the bunch of Sean Marks groupies on Nets Twitter and hired them on the bench. That's what it looked like.
and it made it so hard to even judge. It made it so like I had a whole plan in my head of like, okay, this is what I'm going to look at. I'm really going to watch this player. I'm really going to like dig in to see how that works
I
here.
did too, but that was over in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point. Yeah, exactly. Like I had a whole game plan of like what I was going to look out for tonight to really like assess, but it was like even somebody like Utah who was like high energy, no energy. Like everybody, yeah, dude, only one person scored. Oh my god. This is sad. I'm looking at the stats now. This is terrible. I mean, I'm so we got to talk. Listen, I'm not gonna jump heavy on Ben Simmons, but the lack of aggression has me slightly concerned um, with Ben Simmons a little bit. Like I have no issues with the defense. I love the rebounding. He did try to do a lot of assists. People weren't hitting their shots, so I can't really, get on him for that. Um, but there were numerous times that he had
He's
the
not he's
lane.
not up to game speed, but
No, but he should have been
yeah, but
more. I
he's
mean,
he's
Jay,
not
you
up to
gotta
game
say
speed.
no. He's not. But there were a few
I
times he could have.
No, I agree, and I said to one of my sons during the game when Kyle Lowry was on the fast break, I was like, if this was the regular season, he'd have punched that and just let
Yeah,
him go for a layup.
exactly.
I understand certain levels of tentativeness from him because he hasn't played in so long. I get that. Uh, can I give a few positives that I did see
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there?
We'll get into it. Yeah, I'll agree. I do have some, but yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Kessler Edwards' defense in that first quarter, especially at the beginning of the first quarter, that man was guarding Bam. He was guarding whoever had the ball. Basically, he had a lot of really good energy, and I was like, okay, he has real good energy. It was a switch from what we saw the other night where he looked completely lost again, but he had really good energy at the beginning, and I was like, that's what we need to see. I'm glad they put him with the starters because that's what we need to see. He needs to hit a few 3 pointers, but he uh, Bryce O'Neal. That guy's gonna be a
Fantastic.
player, man. He's gonna be a
Yeah,
player.
he looks like he's trying to. He looks like he's trying to. You can tell he's trying to get his flow back because there were numerous times he got to the. I was gonna say he actually was a. I liked his energy. It didn't translate into scoring, unfortunately, but there were a handful that he was taking it to the rack that he just missed, and I think that's gonna come with time.
Hasn't he been in it? Because I know this was talked about earlier, and I've talked about it a little bit recently in terms of, and I don't know why it's an argument as they would rather Joey start. I love Joey. Why is there even a conversation about Royce O'Neal being a better player than him? Like, who doesn't think that? Hasn't Royce O'Neal, I don't know how many years in a row, but Royce O'Neal has been a starter on 50-win teams. The man
Yeah.
is the ultimate competitor. He can be a lockdown defender. He can hit threes at a good clip. Why is it opening? I don't understand so many people being open and shut about now Joe Harris needs to start. Why?
I think Joe Harris needs to be traded.
We're going there. No, I mean, listen, and that's the other thing. It's really hard to find offensive positives tonight. Like going back to your Kessler, I love everything defensively that Kessler does. I love his energy trying to go for rebounds. But if I'm honest, Jay, the dude offensively it's very painful to watch. He's way too streaky. Some game, like majority of the time, he can't hit his open shot. It's tough. Like I love what Kessler brings from the defensive side, but offensively, it's tough, man. And I haven't seen enough from Kessler yet. It's hard. Like I really was a little more excited for these 2-year guys, thinking a lot of them were going to take some big leaps, but they still need more time, in my opinion. Like even Cam,
Clax looked terrible tonight.
Yeah, he did. Well, that's the thing. Everybody, dude, only 3 people scored in double figures, and Cam only scored in double figures because it was garbage time in the fourth.
Saying Clax came out in training camp and was bragging about how much muscle he put on, but that man was getting bullied by Bam.
2 rebounds, and that was it. Nothing. For
getting bullied by Bam.
But that's my point. Like, if you look at this game and you look at everybody's stats, it's like I look at their stats, and then I'm thinking about going to look at their minutes, and I'm like, oh, those are like 5-minute stats. And then I look at it and it's like 17 minutes, 25 minutes, like 20 minutes. And I'm just like, oh, I mean, it was just, it wasn't just one person. It was everybody tonight. What's up, Jay?
No, it wasn't. And since you all have already gone to the dark side,
I'm not to the dark side, bro. It's just the effort.
No. Well, then I'm gonna go to the dark side.
All right, go to the dark. Oh, real quick,
I'll go there with you.
Before you go there, shout out to Mo. Appreciate the super chat. Ben just passes the ball and stands around. That did look a little bit tonight, but appreciate the super chat.
Yes, yeah. I agree with that. Saint, you were talking about being worried, right? I'm going to, because people say don't overreact to the preseason, no problem. I'm going to give it 2 games into the regular season. I already see we have a new 15th man. This man was given a raise, and my son turned to me at a certain point in the first half, and he said, he has nothing but zeros up on the scoreboard except for
poor Patty Mills.
Patty Mills.
He had 1 rebound, Jay. He had 1 rebound.
Did you see the rebound?
Yes, I did.
The ball was going long. He got his hand on it, and Markieff Morris got it. They gave Patty the rebound.
I know, that's why I'm laughing.
That was his first stat of the game. My son was like, yeah, he got number zeros up there except for fouls. And he was getting abused on defense. Not hitting a shot. I'm talking about, what are you doing? I don't remember if it was the end of the first quarter, end of the half, when they had him dribbling the basketball up by the key. And I turned and I was like, okay, we're being trolled now. We're definitely being trolled. Like, what exactly is this? Why did that man get a raise if, based on what he's done so far, if this continues into the regular season, we have a new 15th man. And he should not play I'm talking about at all.
Dude,
they said Seth is back next week. Patty better not see a minute over Seth.
Oof. Yeah, it was. I still can't believe. I'm like looking at these stats for the game, and I still can't believe some of them. Like, it just. I don't know. Like, I get where people are like, it's the preseason. You see the holier than thou people on Twitter. It's the preseason. You shouldn't be doing this. You should. It's like, bro, go look at the stat line. Look at the minutes. Like, it shouldn't be that bad, right? Like, I'm having a hard time not being concerned about the beginning of the start of the season and just like this is the part that because of the last two seasons, because of how the coaching staff has been, because of how things have just been in general, especially how this offseason went, it just like that PTSD is kicking in when I see a game like this. Like it just, no matter what, it shouldn't be this bad. It just shouldn't. But Chubbs, welcome. I know you were at the game.
Yeah, me and AJ finally met at the game. It was like the planning for the meet was very spontaneous, but we finally got it done. We
Did you guys meet Jay
initially,
too?
shout out to the donor.
Nah, I don't think it'd be. But the first official meetup, was meant to be at practice at the park, but Jay, shout out to Jay, gave my man AJ the lob, and he said, "Yo, got 2 free tickets. We out." I'm like, "Fuck it," but unfortunately, I hoped the game we would have met under better conditions because my God, we got smoked. Like we got fucked up. Like it was literally KD versus Miami. It's probably the best way to put it. Who else was good outside of Kevin Durant?
The only other people that sniffed double figures was Markieff Morris, right? Like, if you want to give him, like, I'll actually, like, for me, like, I'll look at Morris tonight. He gave me exactly what I expected he would give me in a game. He gave me like 6 rebounds and he gave me 10 points, right? Like, I don't expect much more than Morris than that in a game in the season. I mean, am I wrong by that? Like, so Morris, like, he gave me about what I expected from him because he is going to get cooked on defense quite a bit. Cam didn't hit into double figures until the end of the game because it was just straight garbage and then hero ball time. But
Can we
outside
talk
of
about
that,
Cam Thomas for a little bit?
oh, of course. But like outside of that, like there wasn't one person in this game that they did one thing that I was like even highly impressed with. Like everybody I wanted to look at just shit the bed, like the fourth quarter was more exciting than majority of the game, but yeah, Cam Thomas,
Hey Saint, hold on. Don't leave from the Markieff Morris point
yeah,
because based on the reports that are put out, the only reason Markieff Morris was signed was because they said KD asked for that in the meeting. So had KD not asked for that, who would have been signed? And not only that, if we saw what happened tonight, if we're supposed to read what they did tonight, Markieff Morris was brought off the bench as the backup big man.
yeah,
That's already an indictment on you, Sean, that you did not address the backup center position. You told us Day'Ron Sharpe would be the backup center, and he's already been replaced in the second preseason game
yeah,
by a guy who you had no plans on signing. Had KD not said that?
yeah. I think, and then we'll go to Brandon, but it definitely tonight, the thing that we've all said, a legit backup point guard and another center is desperately what this team needs. But Brandon, what did you want to?
I just want to say there's a lot of guys at the end of the bench that is very redundant. Patty Mills has no place on this team, and neither does Cam Thomas.
Ooh, here come the Cam Thomas stands. They're coming for you.
I love
feel it.
Cam Thomas, but he is so one-dimensional, and we have plenty of scorers. He doesn't fit the needs for this roster. He'll never sniff the floor because he needs a rhythm to get going, right? So he needs reps. He needs shots to get into a rhythm.
He needs a new team.
He's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to get that on this team.
He needs a new team.
He's not going to be able to get that on this team.
It almost seems like he just
Chubbs
needs
is right.
yeah. It almost seems like Cam just needs to not pass the ball to anybody and just do Cam ball is what it looks like. Like that seems to be the only time that he really gets hot is when there's no other option, just let him go. And that's just not what we need right now. Like at all. Yeah, I hope to God that they're looking at some of these players and redundancies and what they bring and trying to use them, because you've seen them do it with their friends, quote, on the coaching staff, in the front office. It's like I get it. Patty Mills is a great guy, probably an awesome locker room guy, but just where's his place on this team? Like, what justifies a raise? Is it just being that locker room guy? I mean, come on. And then it's like, we've talked about this also for the last like season or two when we've talked about rookies. And it's like, we're talking about going for a championship. And we're like, I get the idea of maybe holding on to one or two of these guys for the future. But then on the other hand, it's like, if you're trying to make an impact and there's a player available and that team is willing to take one of your young guys, like, you make that trade. You've got to like balance keeping and trading your assets, especially when you're a championship team, to push you over that edge to get the players that you need at the positions you need. It's like, it's obvious what the weaknesses are. I've been on this team for 3 seasons now.
Oh, they were highlighted in this 2 preseason games.
Oh yeah,
No,
100%.
no backup point guard and no other big man.
Yeah.
They attempted to run a bunch of different people as a backup point guard tonight, and it just looked like, yo, what are you doing, yo? Like, come on, man, this ain't it. This is not it, yo. He's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. Stop trying to put a square peg into a round hole. Certain
Yeah.
guys are not point guards, and that's okay. But get us a real point guard.
Yeah. Like, and to be positive, Jay, like you're saying, like, am I happy with the additions of some of the players we picked up? Totally. 100%. Love the bringing in Sumner. Love bringing in Royce. I've really warmed up to the Morris pickup. I wasn't quite sure about it. Obviously, we haven't been able to see TJ Warren, so we don't know how that's going to work. But overall,
that's
like,
going to work, Saint.
I hope so. I mean,
that is going to work. That man's going to be
no, I mean, and
like a fire torch off the bench.
It's just like, so I like some of the things that were brought in, but at the same time, if I'm honest, it just seems like the one area of like Sean Marks is like your continued lack to really go after those parts that we need, and just hope that other players that's the other thing I don't like about the Nets for the last few seasons, is they seem to keep bringing in players that are kind of, quote, close to what the player they need, but they don't have that skill that you need for that point guard or for that center. And they just like think that, oh, we'll just give them more reps there. We'll just work on it in practice and they'll get that skill. No, like it's not happening. And somebody asked earlier, am I off the Dayron train? No, I still love Day. Day looked a lot better in summer league. I felt a lot better. It looked like he definitely put in some work, but so far these first 2 preseasons,
that's the type of talent he dominates against.
Yeah, so far these first 2 preseasons game, it's just like it hasn't been translating.
He was getting out hustled for rebounds tonight also.
Yep.
And it's like, come on, man. Hey, Saint, let me echo what you were saying. Some of the moves I definitely like. But here's where, and you know, people, you always people talking about Sean. Okay, let's look at what other teams have done. And this is based on what Bobby Marks has put out there, based on some of the trades that have happened and things of that nature. There are teams that have, I don't remember if it's 16 or 18. I think it's 16. It might be 18, but I'll go with 16 for the argument of this, for this conversation's purposes. There are multiple teams right now in the preseason who have 16 guaranteed contracts. You can only have 15. So they already know they have to cut or trade at least one guaranteed contract. Do you think that stopped any of these teams from having all of these guys in training camp competing for roster spots? No. We have 12 guaranteed contracts. 3 guys on non-guaranteed, Sumner, Yuta, and Markey and Twin. And then we invited guys to We invited guys to training camp who don't even get into preseason games, and one guy who we already cut. How does that make sense to anybody? Why did we waste a training camp roster spot on Marcus Zagorowski when we would cut him before the preseason? Why do we waste a training camp roster spot on Raekwon Gray when he doesn't play at all? I understand you bringing in Alondas because he's on the two-way, fine. Chris Chioza? My son asked me, one of my sons asked me tonight, what would you do if Chris Chioza makes the team? I was like, oh, we in trouble. If he makes it, we are in trouble.
You're like, we're not coming to the next game. That's what's going to happen. No, it's almost like the thought that I had when you were saying that was it's like they already have their mind made up, and they're not like they already have their mind made up of who they want to be here. And it like there just seems to be this lack of
This is making me so depressed. I just want to talk about the Mets.
We'll get to that later.
Like,
no,
my
just
goodness.
I'm not and okay, for the people, like, I'm not saying this season is a wash. It's horrible. We're going to be terrible the whole season. It's not like, but there definitely, I think, are some concerns, and it makes me where I have confidence in some players, I don't quite have confidence in other players, and more, I'm losing more and less confidence in the coaching staff and the front office to be able to put the adequate pieces and go after them. Like whatever.
Saint, let me interrupt. You had confidence in the coaching staff?
No, I said lack of.
You had confidence in the coaching staff?
Well, I think Igor is probably the only guy I have any confidence in, but it doesn't look like he's really getting a chance to do much.
Saint, Malika says she really wants me to talk about the Mets.
No, she doesn't. She said, "Oh God, oh God, no, Brandon." I could use that for anything. I'm sure you've heard that from a lot from women. Oh God, no, Brandon.
I'm not even going to make this joke, Saint, because we're on stream. But you guys know what I would respond to that.
Hey, going back to what was being said, I don't think anybody is saying that the season's a wash. No, I do think though that we all need to temper expectations of the early season.
Oh yes, I very much.
What are you hinting at, Jay?
Well, how do you think we're gonna start out?
Oh, I hope we start at 0-7.
Look, I hope we start out whatever it takes to get Coach Canadian Bacon fired.
I think 0-7 would do it.
What would be a good record that doesn't really put us in a deep hole, but enough to get
0-7, starting out the season with 7 straight L's.
No, because see, I don't want us to go 0-10 type crap, but enough.
Oh, I don't think we'd go 0-10. Like I said, 0-7. Because if you remember back in the inaugural season, when the Avery Johnson lost the locker room and he got fired and PJ Carlissimo took over, that team went on a run in the second half.
I was talking about that pregame.
They went on a run.
That's the best case scenario.
2-5, 4-5, 2-9.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's a record. They use certain terminology, man. As soon as you say these guys have lost the locker room, you see guys yelling at the coach, things of that nature. You're like, okay, we got to do something.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's already been happening. The silent treatment the players are giving the coaching staff it speaks volumes to me.
And what's sad is like not that I really truly give a shit too much what other fans think of other teams, but it's like when you're sitting there talking to some of these other guys and they're like looking at us going, yo, you guys are a 7th seed, you're an 8th seed, and you're like, nah, bro, easy money, right? Like and then you like see today's game, it like makes it really hard to like defend like you have confidence in certain players, but it makes it so hard to like have confidence in the game plan that's going to be set forth for these players. Oh, it just.
What do you guys think about Joe Harris already being sore?
Well, what was Jay? Did you have a report on that? Because it's not like I read anything unless I missed
let's go to our sideline reporter Jay from BK.
Yeah, I have no reports because I'm not a reporter, but I will say that It's, from my understanding, just precautionary. Man had surgery, hadn't played in the game since last year, November. Just precaution.
Time to trade him. Love it.
No, I mean, yeah, it does seem like precaution, but yet, I don't know. I don't know. When's our next game? What, Wednesday? I think.
Wednesday. Jay and I
Yeah.
will be watching the Mets at Dodgers, same with Chubb, so we probably won't be watching that game.
I don't know. Is that true, Chubbs?
Depends if you Darvish wants to put up a masterclass tomorrow. Other than
Oh
that,
no,
we're
that's
probably gonna be-
Scherzer. That's Scherzer. I think Darvish is going to get rocked in the first 3 innings, and he's going to get taken out.
Oh well, hey, the
I
good
would
thing
like
is
to believe it, but
the Bucks are
Darvish
0-2
has
as well.
literally had our number. So
That's the regular season. This is postseason.
No,
Different
the Bucks,
story.
The Bucks may be whatever they are, but I don't let that influence me.
No, I was just kind of joking, laughing, like, oh, they're 0-2 as well. Like maybe we'll finally get an exciting game.
Hey, you know who went 5 for 5 from 3 today?
Oh god.
The former 15th man, Javon Carter.
Wow. Well, who's still on the payroll?
we're still paying him. Jesus.
Yeah, we still paying him.
People are already screaming for bring Udoka back. Oh my god.
Yeah, why not?
Bring back
I know,
M-
I'm just
MA
laughing.
with his penis.
All that
Udoka.
man has to do is apologize, say he's going to counseling or whatever class it is, and you got to accept the man back.
I'm curious to see where the Celtics are at with that. I wonder if they're just being harsh, but they have to know what kind of good coach he is. I mean, like to your point, like I think you said it, somebody else said it. It's like you replace him with a guy that got in trouble for domestic abuse. So it wouldn't surprise me if he sits the year and comes back and goes right back in his spot. So
Lee Buckets elite. You want Saint to be the head coach? Please. It'd be worse than Nash.
nah, hell no, dude. Hey, you used to love Steve Nash, so I didn't want to hear it.
Boston
Hey,
will
do
trade
you know?
Udoka.
Do you know with your edit button now? Can you go back and change your "I love"?
No,
Steve
you only
Nash?
can edit like for 30 minutes when you first tweet.
Damn, that would be so great. Think about all the bad takes that you've had. You could go back and edit them all. That would.
What
be
are you
amazing.
talking about? I don't have bad takes. I have great takes.
100%. I wonder if
Panthers takes say otherwise, man.
Chubbs, weren't you getting
Okay.
dragged on the timeline the other day?
Who? Oh,
Chubbs.
Chubbs. Chubbs.
Oh,
had-
the
Chubb-
Jay
oh, yeah,
Crowder
What did you
trade?
do?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened?
Oh,
with
the
that?
Jay Crowder trade. Okay, I understand this. Yeah, it wasn't the best take, but I've seen your trades for D'Angelo Russell. I've seen your trades for Miles.
Who,
Not you,
mine?
Brandon, but not you, but to the people that did cook me. I've seen your trades you do for Myles Turner. I've seen the trades you do for D'Angelo Russell. I even see the trades you do for Jared Allen. So don't miss me with that, please. Please.
It all and listen, it happens to the best of us, right, Brandon?
Listen, I don't really have that many takes these days. I kind of
Unless you're
just go with
talking
the
about
flow.
Mets. Yeah.
You know what? When it comes to baseball, all my takes about the Yankees are great.
No, they're terrible. But I mean, hey, and Jay, can we talk about our highest paid defensive coach in the league? Can we talk about him?
Yeah, the defensive
FOS.
coordinator.
The defensive
FOS.
coordinator.
The FOS, friend of Sean.
Oh my god.
That's the type of question that I wish the reporters would ask.
You should grab your notebook and head into the media room one day. Just ask some questions.
I'm telling you, dude, just put on a janitor outfit and just fucking just walk in.
No, all he has to do is literally just go, like, put a polo on, maybe some jeans, walk into the media room, and just with a notepad, and just start asking questions.
We got a request to talk about Ben Simmons.
What is there to talk about?
What was your impression tonight, Chubbs?
For what it's worth, he really was just passive. Like it's nothing really to sugarcoat. He was just passive as hell.
Now, isn't that what other fans have been telling us? And we've been like, no, it's okay, it's okay.
Oh, well, not me, but yeah, a lot of Nets fans were like, nah, Ben's just, this is good. This is an adjusting period. Ben has to realize he can't get away with being passive like he did in Philly. We don't have a superstar big like that, and you kind of got to put in along with Katie and Kyrie to actually have a impact with his playmaking. Literally, the Heat were just anticipating he's going to pass, so just get in the passing lane. And that was pretty much it. So he has to be aggressive because, let's be honest, Kyle Lowry was on him. That should have been food every single possession.
Dude, there was a time that he was like literally back to the basket, sick, like, and he passed out of it. All he had to do was turn around.
And let's not even do Kyle Lowry. Any Heat guard, because they were playing third string, fourth string, should have been food, but he passes out of it. So if you're just looking to pass immediately, you're gonna become predictable. No matter what type of Magic Johnson flashy pass you're gonna do, you're gonna be predictable. So he has to slash. He has to get a little more aggressive. I don't even want him to shoot. He doesn't really need to shoot in this system. He needs to just do what he needs.
What system do we have?
He's still.
Honestly, Monday I thought we had one, but I guess today it's just still past to KD.
Does he look still kind of stiff? Like, does he? I know that sounded so bad. Pause. Does he still look like he's not like? I don't know. He doesn't look like
He looks like a guy who has not played in the NBA for however many years he's not.
400 and something days. Yeah,
for over a year. That's
Do
what he
you
looks
think
like.
he's afraid to attack the basket?
I don't think he's afraid. I think he's cautious right now.
It did sound really bad, didn't it?
Yeah, Cypher. I have no idea what he was looking, but it wouldn't shock me if he was looking down there.
Weirdos. Yeah, I mean, how do I say it? Like, I get the whole idea. Yes, he hasn't played 400 something days, second game back. I get all that, but I'm still not 100% like how comfortable. I wonder, and I hope somebody asks him, but I hope he just doesn't give the note. Like, does he feel 100% with that back? I guess is the question.
Where's Devontae Kaycock?
Oh God, how do you go from that to that, Brandon?
Saint, it's a good question. The problem is the reporters, they don't ask questions like that. The reporters seem to have an agenda, and they stick to whatever their agenda is. That's
like Nick Friedel.
I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like, to me, when I look at that and I see that, like when I see him out there, I've noticed like it seems like he's real comfortable bringing the ball up the court, running, open, passing. But when it starts to seem to hit the free throw line and inside the paint, it's almost like he tenses up. And you even saw a couple times tonight where he just was like hesitant he passed out of having a mismatch. Like, I'm just curious, like if he's got, if he is somewhat nervous with the back, not 100% comfortable, right? Like, I'm not going like where Philly fans are saying, oh, he's afraid to score. I'm not buying that. Like, I look at it, it's more like I wonder if he is comfortable with his back. So I know somebody don't make that shit. I'm not even going there. I'm just
Can
curious.
we wait till the regular season to see how he looks first?
Why wouldn't you look at how he's operating today?
And preseason, his very first 2 games in over a year?
Well, hell yeah. That's going to give you a hell of an indication. That's not an overreaction, but like, we're not going to sit here and
let
pretend.
him feel out the process. I'm not too concerned about what Ben Simmons is going to do. Not concerned at all.
Well, you weren't concerned majority of the season last year.
I will ask you guys. I want to ask you guys a question. Would you guys cut Kessler Edwards for Craig Randall.
What?
You mean Adelaide 36ers, Craig Randall?
Yes. A third.
You mean like cut Kessler for him?
Yes.
Okay, in this process, are we letting go either Patty or Cam in this situation?
We would have to trade them.
Okay, we can't have too many small guys
because Kessler is making peanuts compared to them.
That's a pie in the sky thought, and I know they wouldn't do that. And even though this is recorded, I don't care. They bush league for what they did to Craig Randall. They're being petty. They're upset with him the way that he ended last season on the Long Island Nets. They held that against him. That's why he wasn't invited to the Summer League. That's why he's no longer in the Nets organization. And he showed you the other night that he's legitimately an NBA player, dominated the Suns. You can't tell me he hasn't looked better than at least 5 players we have on the team in training camp right now. There's no reason why he wasn't at the very least invited to Summer League. Team is petty as hell, man.
All right, I'm
and they hold grudges against people. That's why Craig Randall's not in this organization anymore.
That's sad.
Shout out to Mad Genius. Clack Simmons spacing is awful.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Only way it's ever going to look better is if you have KD, Kyrie, and...
No, that's never going to look good.
Well, it'll never look good.
I've already seen enough of that combo.
So we had a little... I figured I'd play this video. It says Ben Simmons says there has to be more balance between him looking for his own shot and creating others. 3 shots is definitely not enough. Said he wants to get the ball in the post and attack the rim more. Still getting feeling coming back. You had opportunities tonight to do that.
Listen, he is still feeling his way back.
I don't care. I don't want to give. I don't give a shit.
This is his first organized basketball in literally.
I know, but let's not pretend But let's not pretend we don't see concerns. I get it. We can't talk about them?
Listen here, negative Nancy. You need to relax.
No. Last year, it turned out I was right, didn't it, Brandon?
No.
You came around to my way of
I'm talking about
thinking.
one player. I'm not talking about the team.
I don't think so. All right,
I'm talking about one specific player.
All right, here. Let's listen to what he has to say. Let's hear it.
Would be nice if we heard anything.
You can't hear it?
We cannot hear no.
I agree, Malika. He's being way too hard on Ben.
Can you hear it?
No.
Maybe. You should be scared for your Yankees.
So wait, you can't hear that at all?
No.
We've done this a million times. I wonder why it's not playing. Huh. I'll have to figure it out. Oh, here, I think I got
Listen, aren't you supposed to be the tech genius of this group?
Chubbs is right there. Here, maybe. Let me try it now. Here we go.
This is an epic failure.
No. I forgot. It's been a while since I've done this.
Oh, my gosh. Why are you doing this live on stream?
Now, shut up for a second, Brandon. Here we go.
Yeah, it's another thing, offensively, we're trying to get to our sets and working on, offensive, schemes, whatever it is.
Why does it sound like he's in a bathroom?
Why don't you shut up?
Your shot, which is definitely not enough. Obviously, offensively,
yes, William, the Mets are beating the Padres tomorrow.
So because you keep talking, nobody fucking can hear anything, Brandon.
The Yankees are not winning the World Series. Not even close.
Yeah, but based off the quote, I feel like that shouldn't go with said. He should look for his shot regardless.
Who, Ben?
I feel like we really didn't need to hear him say that. We already know, he already knows it. So, obviously he's playing to the media, but I feel like we really shouldn't be talking about something he knows should happen. But let's be honest.
No,
we,
but
we really didn't need to hear him say it. We know what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to do.
and this is why I love KD. They asked KD, and he goes, "I didn't like anything about tonight." Right? Like,
Yeah, he said we came out healthy. That's the only positive. And honestly, gotta agree, we came out
at
healthy.
least he's keeping it 100. He's like, "I didn't like about anything tonight." At least we came out. I love that.
Katie just keeps it real. But yes, the Mets are winning the World Series.
Oh God.
The Mets have finished with a better record than the Yankees, so they're already better.
Although I do got to bring up something about the Mets. You spent an awful long time about us choking our lead in the division, and you guys had the biggest choke job. You guys gave up.
Did
10
we
and a half
though?
Yeah,
Dude,
you did.
you guys would have choked 15 games to the Braves.
You were talking. I don't care. You keep coming up with these random, stupid hypotheticals, but at the end of the
That's
day,
not a hypothetical.
at the end of the day,
we finished with the same record as the Braves.
Who won their division, though?
We finished with the same record as the Braves.
Who won the division, Brandon?
Did you win 100 games? I don't think you did.
Chubbs, who won the division? I know you'd be honest, unlike Brandon. Didn't he spend all season talking about losing the division lead?
Look at the chat, man. We're going all baseball here. I like it.
See?
Okay, but
I'm not saying the Mets suck. I'm just saying you spent, Brandon, the whole season saying we were going to lose the division. Meanwhile, you guys choked. End of story.
Choke. How did we choke if we won 101 games?
You had 10.5 game lead. You choked.
Okay, they went on a 14 game winning
That's a
streak.
choke.
You're gonna
if
lose.
We had lost,
you're
10
gonna lose ground when we're facing the Dodgers, Padres,
at the end
Brewers,
of the day,
Astros. We're not gonna win 14 straight facing those teams.
At the end of the day, though, if we would have lost the 10.5 game lead and not won the division, you would have said we choked. So, whatever. All right, we'll move on from.
You're going to lose, drummer boy. Don't talk baseball. Saying you turn people off.
You
turn people off when you talk
Met.
baseball.
You said Soto was a Met. We got tons of tweets saying all these guys were Mets, and then you guys got scrubs.
Listen,
that
Aaron Judge
really
is pretty much already a Met.
You and all Mets fans know that you did not do what you were supposed to.
Yeah, get together.
Well, this is what happens. This is what happens when you bring Brandon on the podcast or the stream. This always happens.
Yes, but anyway, basketball, please.
It's easy to deviate to baseball tonight, especially with what the Nets just did.
I agree.
And it's where people talk about it's just preseason. Okay, cool. If you're not looking for anything from preseason, then you got it tonight. If you are looking for something, you ain't get it tonight.
Exactly.
And can one of y'all do me a favor and look up how many? Because I'm gonna bring one of the points that you brought, that you constantly brought up last year. I'm not sitting on that point, but I need it as a reference point. Can somebody look up? You.
Yeah.
Can somebody look up how many technical fouls Coach Canadian Bacon got as an NBA player?
I'll look it up. But dude,
that's a great question.
I'm glad you came around.
I'm trying to think.
No. I haven't come around because go ahead. I'll tell you my point. Go ahead.
No, I still think dude should have gotten more technical fouls. But let me see here.
I think the only time I can think of is when he threw the ball at the Spurs during that Spurs Suns playoff game when he got shoved into the side there by Robert Ory and he got a bloody nose and there was a whole altercation there. That's the only time I can think of.
There's not a lot, sure, but I'm trying to find it. Oh, we lost Brandon.
The reason why I asked that is because when you look at the team right now, right? Part of it that's troubling to me is it's not about him not getting technical fouls. It's about the attitude of the team seems like it's him. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's like the energy starts with the coach. The energy starts with what you're putting on. No, I agree. And I guess that's part of like some of the reason why I said, but like, where's the energy? Where is the getting angry? Where's the like sticking up for your players? It was like where you were always talking about players bringing that energy. Like we didn't have a dog. We didn't have a guy to get in somebody's face. It's like that was such a huge thing lacking from our coach. When you look at most other coaches, okay, he said Cypher said Nash had a career 48 technical fouls. But that's a great point. Like, where's the like? He's supposed to be the one of the heads of your energy, and what's going out there.
Steve Nash was a hell of a lot more like passionate as a player than he is as a head coach. Not even
Well,
close.
the reason why I asked that question is because, and that goes with the energy of the guys. They take on his energy in terms of. I want y'all to pay attention to what Twin said last week. Well, he said it recently when he was talking about teams always knew last year that we were soft. Have you seen anything
Yep.
that says we're no longer soft in preseason?
No.
We still soft.
Yes.
What's he talking about? We were soft. No, we are soft.
Brandon, are you
Literally
eating?
nothing has changed.
No, that's Chubbs. I'm on mute, son.
I'm just playing. No, but you're right. Hey, real quick, Jay, sorry to hop in there. Shout out to Where Brooklyn At 2012. You're so right. Jay, atrocious. Yeah. I agree. I tried to tell myself before this preseason that like I was gonna wait till any massive judgments until the beginning of the season, and I'm not quite sure I'm gonna be able to keep that.
Yeah, it's safe to say.
Are
we
we
won't
all
win a
shocked
preseason
though,
game.
Saint? Let's be real.
No, I wouldn't say I'm shocked, but I definitely no. The reason why I was saying it was because I felt like, like we said earlier, looking for positives. It's like I felt like we got better as far as players that we put around them, right? Like I felt a lot more excited about the players we brought in comparison to early, the last two seasons. But I still had this thing where it's like, even if like everything looked perfect at the moment and we weren't like seeing the issues that we're having, I still would have this level of like I'm not ready to completely buy in yet. I'm not ready to like make any
The
claim on
Nets
what
just signed Noah Kirkwood, whoever the hell that is.
I've heard that name, but I don't.
He was one of our undrafted signings. He's a wing. I do believe he's a wing.
He was on. Yes. What?
They just signed him for what? Like for G League purposes?
I'm curious. I mean, he was in the summer league. He didn't do terrible in the summer league, but it was not enough to be like, oh my god, it's Noah Kirkwood. We need him on.
Just for G League purposes.
Yeah.
Can we stop doing that?
That's all we're doing. Everything has been about like, why did like, is this supposed to make you feel good after a game like this?
Yo,
We
it's
signed
almost
the
like
mighty Noah Kirkwood, bro.
yo, but I'm gonna tell you, and this is where a lot of fans get caught up, and they talk about all the players we have now and better rotation guys. That means nothing if it doesn't fit together. If
Yeah.
it's not coached to fit together, it's like you picking a fantasy football or a fantasy basketball team, and you pick all the best players, and then you go to the way the rosters are supposed to be shaped, and you ain't got enough centers for your team, or you ain't got enough forwards for your team because you picked the best guards. It means nothing.
Can I? Well, and I know you probably have some players, but despite the deficiencies that we have, is there players that are available now that could make an impact right away, or do we, or are we looking towards waiting for the season to start, players to become available, like tradable again, clearly we need to make a move of some kind. But my question is there players that are available now that you would want to go get that are available outside of a trade that would make the impact and make the change? Or do you think it's better that we wait for the season to start and wait for tradable players, like pay people to become tradable again?
No, there are guys who I would like to tell you, let's see how we look first. But we've done that for how many years now?
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, we got to get off of that. We have to. We don't have time to waste anymore.
Yeah, our window's closing fast. Fast.
I don't want to waste that time. I mean, in theory, yeah. Let's see what we got. In actuality, no. Do something about it right now.
Yeah, I'm curious of how many teams are at this point looking to move the players that we need besides what you hear the Pacers.
The Pacers aren't the only team.
No, I
You know how
know.
many
I said
teams already
besides.
know
That's what I was saying. Besides them, like what other teams are willing to move?
the Spurs.
Atlanta.
It's true.
The Spurs.
Atlanta.
The
I
Spurs
don't. Is
know
Atlanta
that
really
they're
looking
not
to make
competing.
a move?
Yes,
I
they
don't
have
know
no
if
shooting.
They definitely have no shooting.
But you think there's still like somebody like Collins is still on the table for them, or no?
They talked about Collins being available all summer.
If they think that Trae Young is going to be single cover, that man is going to get doubled every single night because they are going to cheat off Jadante Murray, John Collins, and DeAndre Hunter every single night to get the ball out of Trae's hands.
I wouldn't go that far. Somebody was saying we're all seeing that Ben Simmons is a loser. I wouldn't go that far, dude.
He's what?
No, this guy from Run It Back Philly said, glad everyone is finally realizing how much of a loser Ben is. It's like, dude, come on.
What did he do now?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's just because he hasn't played well in 2 preseasons game. So it's like,
okay. So that makes him
yes,
loser?
and no, this is a guy that's like being completely vile now, like where it's just like, sorry that we had to lie to ourselves.
And
kind of like
you know
how Philly lies to themselves about James Harden being the one. It is the same. We're literally saying the same things to each other about, like, they say that about Ben, we say that about Harden, and they're still trying to convince themselves that they're going to get old Houston Harden back. And like, I'd say we both have gotten, to some degree, you could say we both got some damaged goods, and fans are trying their best to make it sound good. I could agree with that a little bit.
But Saint, you want to know the comedy of it all?
Yeah.
2 years ago, he would have been the same one saying Ben Simmons could lock up KD.
That's probably
true. Please let's stop. Y'all were saying that with y'all chest out. Ben Simmons could lock up KD and Kyrie. It was a wrap. Ben Simmons on Kyrie, it was a wrap. Sixers in 6. Too much defense. Please, let's stop. Let's stop the cap. This is why I look at Sixers fans funny when y'all try to shit on Ben Simmons, because y'all were on that.
Wow, AJ.
AJ, no, man, get your ass on this fucking dude. I got Jay and Brandon up here. Like, come on, bro. You better get your ass in here, dude. Chubb's manned up and came in here and talked. No, man, that's foul. Unless you're doing something, unless you're with a 10, unless you're with a 10-day, then we get it. B, you forgive Harden. I don't forgive Harden. I mean, fuck Harden.
Yeah, who's we?
Yeah, who's we? B.
Who is we?
I don't forgive that. Fuck that guy, Quitter James. Yeah, Jay, you better. AJ, pull up, man. Hey, you know what's funny though? Hey, Jay, I don't know if you saw he said I'm at Wendy's. Hold on.
Dude, what is he doing at Wendy's?
Hey, but Jay, didn't you find it awful suspicious tonight? The night that Gibbs shows up, AJ goes to the game.
Yo,
Yeah.
I thought that was the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time, yo.
I was
I was like,
dying
there's
when I saw
no
that he was there.
way Freddie Gibbs is at the game, yo. Like,
Same
how?
day AJ is. Yeah. Coincidence? But yeah.
AJ, you can keep laughing while you're eating your spicy McNuggets at Wendy's, okay?
Oh, what's your gripe with Wendy's, man?
Huh?
What's your gripe with Wendy's?
Wendy's sucks.
Wendy's used to have good fries a long time ago when I was a kid. You dip them into the chocolate frosty. That shit was good, but
You would like to dip stuff into Frosties.
yeah, who wouldn't, dude? But I mean, listen, going forward, next game, Bucks. I know you don't care, Brandon, because you said you and Jay. You make it sound like you're gonna like be sitting in the same room drinking beers, watching the game. But whatever. Like the next game is. I mean, I hope to God we have a different energy out there. I mean, because the only way it's really palpable right now to even enjoy is to see the big three.
Listen, I will say this to save everyone from watching another disaster on Wednesday. Just turn on ESPN and watch the Mets beat the Dodgers. That's all you need to do. Enjoy, embrace the Mets.
God.
Okay, but for real, on the Wednesday game, we're playing Minnesota, right?
No, we're playing the Bucks, I believe.
Yeah, on ESPN again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't be surprised we don't win a preseason game. Just don't be
Wait,
surprised.
what is it, by the way? Like, because I know
Yeah.
who's our last game we play against? Next preseason. Yeah, it was painful to come on tonight. Like, I was kind of like, should we do it? And AJ's like, no, let's do it. Like, all right, fine, we'll do it. Come on. Let's see. Where did the rest? Oh, preseason. There we go. Yeah, so we faced the Bucks and then the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So in a high likelihood that it could be, yeah. The rate and how we're playing, yeah.
You got to deal with potentially Giannis, and then next game, Cat and Gobert if they play. Yeah, don't be surprised if we don't win another game.
Now, question:
like the entire season.
Stop. Do you think we got better defensively as a team this year?
We got better individual defensive players.
I gotta ask that question. I'm laying the groundwork.
As a team, we have the same problems, but we have better individual defenders. That's the difference.
We have the best defensive coordinator in the league. The only one.
Yo, this guy don't like you, Brandon. He said you're annoying as fuck.
Thanks, Clutch Hat. I appreciate it.
But I mean, because I do think we got that's a good point, Chubbs, because I did notice that we had trouble, like the same issues with switching. Like I expect, like even though like we were talking prior to the game, Cash was like sitting there saying how much we're much better perimeter team. Oh, look at this, we're gonna shut down the three, and it's like, nah, it didn't look like it tonight, right? Like people were still hitting open threes, still seemed to be an issue in that area. And that, again, testament to the coaching. It just, yeah, well, there you go. Exactly, bro. It's not, well, tonight was a combination of no effort from players and coaching, like, quite honestly. To me, all around everybody looked like they were high as shit, and there was nothing, yeah.
Yeah, it was literally KD versus the Heat. That was pretty much it.
Does this guy know that the Yankees are not in the wild card, by the way? Just curious.
Only if they were, they would lose. So I get it.
Does he know? Does Dante Reeves know we won the division, unlike the Mets did? I think the Mets are in the wild card, right?
Yeah. What is there left to talk about this shitty ass preseason game?
I don't know why. You want to just make fun of each other for the next 20 minutes, Brandon? Just talk shit to each other?
Yeah, let's just talk shit about each other for 10 minutes and call it a
We'll see if AJ actually.
No, AJ is getting fat at Wendy's. Leave him alone.
Jay, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, can we reiterate that Patrick Sammy Mills was out there getting his full cardio on earlier today, and that man is very close to being the new 15th man.
Oh, he is. No, not new. He is.
He is.
He is, bro. You
What
called
was
it.
that size up like at the end of the quarter? Like y'all saw that isolation, him at the top of the key, like the most stiff size up in the world. His back was straight, and he he should not see the rotation of either if TJ or Seth comes back. He should not even sniff rotation.
Chubbs, who
what
would you pick in the game of 1-on-1? Patty Mills or Saint?
Isaiah Whitehead. How about
Isaiah Whitehead.
How about that? Isaiah Whitehead. How about that?
You know what I think it is? I think we need bald Patty Mills back. I think that's what it is.
Oh my God!
We
Did he
need
get
bald Patty
carried in that
Mills.
finals? What are we doing?
Hey, that's what about. Hey, we need bald Patty Mills back, bro. Oh yeah, tonight was painful, man. It's not what I expected. I didn't expect a win, but I didn't expect it to be the most. Okay. I feel bad. I don't want to do this to Patty. All right, I'm not going to do it. I
Yo,
won't do it.
even in preseason though, Battle Pants was talking about this earlier. I didn't expect Clax to get dominated the way he did.
Oof.
Like that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
You out there every time you dunk the ball, you flexing and doing all this extra histrionics, what have you. You were embarrassing tonight also.
Yeah, Claxton has this flexing, like he'll do it and dunked on Yuta and he's all flexing. Like I've never there's something about that guy, dude, that sometimes I'm just like
He does it even when we're getting blown out. It's like
I
weird
know
as hell.
it is very weird. It is weird.
Fix that attitude. Like in that aspect, I don't get it. But I don't know, man. You tell Clack stands like games like this, they'll be like, "Well, what do you want him to do? You act like he's Kareem out there," but they'll go crazy over him dunking on a fucking guard playing a center position. So I don't know. Like,
I mean, and it's like, yeah, we're talking shit about Dayron Sharp today, but like, if you look at how did Clax play any better than Dayron did the first game? No, and then it's like you look at Dayron today. Dayron actually played decent in the fourth, but granted, it was all scrub time. But I think that's what like hit me too when I was watching, where it was like, this is part of the problem I do have with the Nets to some degree, is that it almost seems like the stars need to be in for our players to be good, but the second these players are not in, these players that we have, some of them, not all of them,
that's all on coaching.
Are in no, but it's also more than that, bro. Sometimes it's like, somebody did bring up a valuable question in the earlier spaces where it was like, outside of like Katie and Kyrie, like who's coming in to really light it up scoring wise, right? Like who can really operate completely on their own without them to still be able to get their buckets?
TJ Warren.
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping. I know what he's capable of, but we still got to see the injury thing, right? And then the other aspect, to be quite honest, is it's like these guys look great when they're standing next to our players and getting set up and having open it, but the second like they're out, these guys look like they look like the places they were drafted in, right? Like they don't look like. So that is concerning. That is a little concerning for me, if I'm being honest.
AJ said if you buy him 120 chicken nuggets, he'll come on the stream.
Yeah, AJ's gonna eat himself into a coma, dude. He's probably like still walking outside of his house, like all depressed, kicking a can, eating his freaking chicken McNuggets. Kyrie is the life of the team. No, it was more than that tonight, bro. Like, I agree with you. He's definitely a big part of it, but no, tonight there were zero excuses. Like,
I can't say that because you look at Monday's game, we were down, and in the second quarter, Kyrie started like going overboard, like giving the most extra effort, and we cut it to 3 at halftime.
But I'm just saying, even with Kai not there, you're telling me that tonight's dude. Do I need to pull the stat sheet up tonight? Like, just
No,
the
no
amount
doubt. Like I said,
I agree with. I get what you're saying, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's no excuse for the effort and energy from like the lack of coaching, the lack of a game plan, right? Like zero. Yeah, exactly. Zero excuses. Like there should. I get it. It's preseason, but ugh. AJ's crying, right? AJ, when you're typing this, are you literally stuffing food in your mouth while crying? Like, what's going on, bro? Dude, like AJ's all emotional. Fuck. Oh, poor AJ. I don't know, man. Chubbs, anything from the game you want to talk about that you saw being there?
Thank God the tickets were free. Shout out to Jay.
Yo, shout out to nah Jay Boogie. I forgot what his name is on Twitter. He said he had extras and he gave them to me and I passed them along to y'all. So shout out to
Yeah.
him.
That's
All
cool,
right,
man.
shout out to him. No, like got to link up with AJ. Premature to Sunday, but we'll be at practice in the bar Sunday. So if y'all in the chat, if y'all going, y'all can meet us there, hang out with us. But honestly, like there's nothing extra to be said from what we probably has already said. We need a point guard, we need a big, and overall, regardless of those two, Ben needs to figure it out. He doesn't need to shoot. He really doesn't. He needs to just be aggressive at his inside scoring. Like bottom line, there's no way you can just come out and expect to just be passive. And a team as smart as the Miami Heat, who are known for their defense and coaching, literally to just not predict you're gonna pass it first. Like come on. Like they were just okay, he's gonna pass, just set up in the passing lane. That's it.
Yeah.
And once they controlled that, it's pretty much a wrap. Like realistically, a guy's talented as Simmons with his driving ability. You had Kyle Lowry on you all game. Kyle Lowry he's a great defender, but versus a guy of Ben Simmons' skills, that should be food every time. You shouldn't even be looking to pass. You should be literally looking to drive past him every time. So, I really didn't need to see him say, "Oh, well, I need to decide between scoring and pass." We don't know. We do not need for you to say that. You should already be in. You should already get to work on that. Like it's really not. Like and age, I get. Yeah, we can dunk on Ben Simmons, but let's not play like he's not. He's just fodder. Like, let's not play like he's just cannon fodder. And this is coming from a person that wouldn't trade Patty Mills for Ben Simmons. Saint can attest to that.
Yeah.
Can attest
That
to
will go down as the greatest stream in the world.
Saint said, "Would you trade Patty Mills for Ben Simmons?" And I stood on my toes and said, "No."
No.
But
now, I mean, but
yeah, but let's not
in the context of that now of how Patty's playing, and
would you trade Patty Mills for the ghost of Jorge Gutierrez?
I don't know if that stream still exists, but if you want to take time, I gotta find out which stream that is.
It's there.
I just don't know which stream it was because that hands down was one of the funniest fucking moments. Like people were killing me. Like, nah. Yeah, exactly. I look like a fucking genius now after that, like Patty stream, bro. Because I had to pull Ben highlights. Like, listen, when it comes to Ben, like, I think it's there. I just think, like, I do keep it in my yes, he's coming back. He hasn't played in a long time, but on some level, like you heard him say it tonight, like if you're not doing this by like game 10, like if we're talking 10 games in and we're still having the same conversation, I have no more patience. Like I'm sorry. Like by 10 game into the season, if you're still afraid to take Kyle Lowry to the like just turn around and dunk it on him or lay it in or run the lane and you're still kind of like doing this, like, bro, no, then there is something wrong, because I get it. You haven't played in a while, but like, it's not like you forgot how to play basketball. Like, you should not lose, like, unless there is, hell, less fans are right. Maybe he is afraid. I don't want to even think that, but
You know what this reminds me of, Saint, and
I did.
I might be really off mark, but just everything, it really reminds me of when Harden first came here and he was kind of passive. And we were having second guess of whether this would work out. That's like the feeling I'm
Yeah.
having. It's literally like that, those
Yeah.
back to back with the Cavs, and then you see and then that Heat game where it's like, dude, what the hell? I
But
hope
there
we
seemed to
have
be
that with
more
Ben. I hope
discussion
we have
based.
that with
Yeah.
Ben.
AJ, I asked this question earlier, like, to Jane, or like, my thing was, he kind of doesn't look 100%, and I guess that was my question. Like, do you guys think he was 100% healthy? I don't know if you were here, Chubbs. I think you were, but where, like, AJ, that's a good question. I don't know if you can hop on or just type it in chat, but like, did you get the feeling in the vibe that he looks 100% healthy, or it's just him getting back into the rhythm of things? Because it looked like he was slightly off. And I know that could be lack of playing, but I'm also wondering if there's any kind of nursing of that lower back, afraid of maybe contact, to, because even his dunking looks really kind of like just straight up, straight down. There doesn't seem to be, like, there was a couple moments where he could have thrown it down like he's normally in the past, but it's like you're not even seeing that level of kind of attacking. It just looks like straight up, straight down, go down. Like, okay, so AJ said he looks stiff too. Okay. See, I
But
said stiff, and then I got, Brandon made fun of me.
but let's not beat
Asked
around
me
the
where I
bush
was
here.
looking. See,
Dude
I
had
said the
back
same thing.
surgery. Dude
Yeah.
had back surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm a little disappointed he's this passive, but yes, he had back surgery.
Yes.
On top of that, why are we expecting a guy to do this much athletic shit off of a back surgery? Off of a back
But
surgery?
that, I know, but if that is, and I posed that question earlier, and Jay said, "Hey, that would be a great question," but unfortunately, some of these, we do have good reporters, but they don't. Everybody's got their narratives and the agendas for whoever they're writing for, right? Like, I'd be interested to know, like, how much that back really is uh, affecting his play, not just like, as some people are saying, being scared or just getting back in the swing of things, or him, like he said tonight in his interview, where I'm just trying to find the balance. Like, when we heard the same comment from James Harden last year.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
having a hard time deciding when to pass and when to shoot. And
one
it
to
took
pass and
and it
one to, yeah, James
yeah,
Harden.
yeah,
Like,
James
what
Harden literally said the same shit last year. So I don't know if that comes. Are you trying to say that's what comes along playing with KD and Kyrie,
No,
right?
but
Like,
that it's a different thing though, because QJ said that and he wasn't coming off no major surgery. He wasn't coming off not
of
playing
course, I know.
in
I'm just
over a
making the
year.
comment that they literally have said the same thing. So I'm thinking out loud, Jay. I'm trying to get to a point of thinking without, like, see, I don't want to go down the road where Philly fans are, or where other people, that even Nets fans or other, where they're just like, nah, this is Ben, and Ben is that, and he's trash and he's afraid. Like, I don't want to go down that road, right? Like, I'm not willing to buy into that narrative. So I'm doing my due diligence to really, like, ask those questions and look at it and say, like, how much of it is potentially back, how much of it is him not playing for 400 days, and how much is it him trying to push his game into God knows what coaching staff system is out there. And then on top of that, you're playing with KD and Kyrie. Like, that's a lot to adjust to, I think, if you're a player, especially somebody in Ben's situation. So until I see all of those things kind of answered and kind of checked off, like, okay, it's not this, it's not that, before I get to the least. I guess that's where how I'm going with it. But
Hey, let me ask a question, and it's not just to you all because I know where you all stand, but everybody in the chat, it came to me when you were just speaking. Does anybody believe in this coaching staff?
No.
I don't.
Hell no.
I don't. Chat, yeah, chat. Throw it. Does any exactly? That's a great question.
If you do, why? Like I'd like some hope. Like why do you believe in this coaching staff?
At most, you can probably say Coach Igor, but at the end of the day, that's just one dude. Like
That's what I said earlier. I said Igor is probably the only one that I even.
I don't even think we need a poll. It's unanimous.
No, and we can't do a poll because AJ's eating chicken McNuggets right now, drinking Mountain Dew, eating a cheeseburger.
Shall be unanimous, but but we do have to hold Ben Simmons accountable in this sense. He just needs to do better. Like, we don't need him to do no 360 NBA dunk contest bullshit, but just do good at what you're good at. You don't gotta dunk. Lay the ball up. We've seen you finish. Like, we know he's good at finishing. Like, come on.
Did you see the play, Jay Chubbs? Brandon seems like he's gone, so I could probably just drop him to the bottom. But there was a part where somebody came down the lane and Ben was about maybe 5-6 feet from the basket, and the guy bumped him. But he, like, it's almost like he I don't think it was a full-on bump from the player that pushed him back. It's like he jumped out of the way. It was almost, I almost got this vibe like he didn't want the contact. And that was something else.
I gotta watch that game back. I gotta watch it back.
The reason why I brought that up, because there was a mental note of mine when I was like looking at him playing, like when I brought up the stiff comment and him just like going straight up, straight down for dunks, like where I was really trying to look at like, okay, how comfortable? Yes, we are still here. We like to punish ourselves. We only been on for an hour and 20 minutes. Probably not going to go much longer, but. Dude, go back, and if you can find that, if you do decide to go back and watch the game and you do see that, it kind of put like another feather in my cap of where I know he's healthy enough to play, but I think that like he is not as I don't think he is as limber as he can be and is as comfortable with his back as he probably wants to be. I think there definitely is there's got to be some nerves there of like just not wanting contact.
Honestly, to me, I sound like such an asshole for saying this, but I feel like as a core, we're against the clock to shit like that. If you can see what I'm saying, like follow me for a second. The offseason we just had, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. We were this close to having Ben Simmons be our franchise player. Very close. And we can't just sit around and act like time is not ticking with the core we have. Like we have a very small window. Don't mistake. Oh, KD rescinding that trade request. We are a 2-5 record away from the trade deadline being up completely back to square one from last year. So, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Ben Simmons hasn't played in a year, but at the end of the day, if we're halfway into the season and we're saying the same stuff we are, there's just no way we can't say, oh, is he 100%? Oh, is he in the right mental state? Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. There has to be a time to say, yo, step up or get out. And that's where I am at. Ben Simmons has gone through some mental hurdles. Ben Simmons has gone through some physical hurdles, both in health, mentally, and physically, that a lot of us don't even go through. But at the end of the day, we all want to see this team win a championship. And if it comes to the point where we're still talking about what we're talking about in November, January, what are we doing here? So that's just where I am. And we can say, oh, it's been 100%, all this, all that. That we have to set a point where we have to stop saying, what if it's a hurdle? What if it's this block? What if it's this? We have to cut that off. Don't let that KD rescind trade request rescind. Don't let that fool you. We are a bad start away from being back to where we were in the summer. We are. Like we can't just sit around and act like everything's okay now. Like imagine a loss like that happening in the first 5 games. Like you think we really are gonna? You think those moves that were talked about over the summer? You think KD, those thoughts he might want to get the hell out of here won't come back? I
don't want
that would come back. So look, I hope Ben snaps out of it. It's very obvious he looks rusty as hell, and he's coming off of surgery. But at the end of the day, we can't come on here and say, oh, when is he 100%? Oh, it might be his mental block. Oh, he's just coming in, hasn't played in a year. Let's be and Saint, for what it's worth, as much as I hate James Harden now, we never caped this much for Harden when he came off that hamstring.
And you and I, but listen,
but we never caped this hard. We never caped this hard. Like we gotta hold him accountable. At the end of the day, he is a professional. He is making a good amount of money.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, I don't have time for the kumbaya nonsense. And honestly, that applies to everybody on this roster. Kyrie, KD, everybody.
And what did we say, Chubbs, last season?
Not just
what
Ben.
What did we say last season? I did say this that I was not going to do this season because, like, Jay remembers this when I would come in and I would be saying certain things and like. Oh, real quick, Smooth Savage 28, appreciate the super chat. Coaching staff is trash. Josiah and Sean Marks are willing to let this team turn into a dumpster fire to keep them, with the exception of Igor. Facts. Appreciate you, man. I will tell you this, like, and I don't even really care anymore about like, oh, it's the preseason, everybody like overreaction, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Like, I'm sorry. I'm past the point with this team for the last 2 seasons, actually 3, of just like, I don't think it's overreacting, right? Like, I'm getting to the point where it's just like, I know what I saw tonight. I know what I saw yesterday. I know what I saw during the last season last year. I know what I saw. I understand the issues that are with this team of like, things that you can't hold against it as far as injuries, trades, constant, like, yeah. But I see what's going on with the lack of things when it comes to players, coaching staff, front office, and owner. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and like, I guess that's the thing, especially after last year when I would bring my concerns up about the season in spaces and Brandon and other people would give me a hard time. Oh, you're this, don't do that. And it's like, no, bro. And it's like, well, what? And it's not even like saying I'm right, but what? Like all those things I was concerned about very much were a issue and part of the reason why we definitely didn't win. And exactly, AJ, like, I don't think it's the Miami's bench, right? Like
is it an overreaction? Like and here, is it an overreaction? Should Suns fans overreact to the Adelaide 36ers dunking on them in that game? Like, is it an overreaction that they're mad? No.
Yeah, like
no, exactly. This is not.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, like I listen, I get it. I see other teams have just as much turnover as we have had sometimes, and they bring on new players and they have a system and they have a legit and they start the preseason and and they look so much better.
Isaiah Joe came in the game the other day, was splashing shots, yo.
Yeah.
B-ball Paul started and was giving our front court the business. Philly had a bunch of guys out. Philly scored 42 points in the first quarter.
Exactly. I mean, granted, they were hitting every 3 in the world, and then they were hitting
their shots. Yeah, but they were hitting their shots because, if for nothing else, they have a system and coaching in place that guys are plug and play. We don't.
Yeah.
And for some
Doesn't
reason,
it look? Hey, pardon me. Let me say this last point. Doesn't it look like two completely different offenses when Ben Simmons leaves the floor?
Yes,
Yep.
that's exactly what I said tonight too. It does. Hey, real quick, I got to do two quick shout outs. Made in Brooklyn, appreciate you did double super chats. I'll get them up. It says, I always root for Brooklyn Nets, but as long as Steve Nash is head coach, I won't be able to believe this team has legit championship ambitions. That is a let me read the other one and we can go back, but it is a fair point. At this point, he said, at this point, I'm just hoping for competitive effort, entertaining basketball, basically bare minimum. To finish up your thought. No, I mean, that's made in Brooklyn. Made in Brooklyn.
Made in Brooklyn. Did you get that tonight? Did you get the bare minimum that you were expecting tonight?
No, he didn't. Did he or did he not? Because that's a good question. Yeah,
and mind you,
because I saw less than bare minimum tonight.
But here, me and AJ got our tickets and we for free, and we still want our money back. I feel like we are owed that.
I almost texted AJ to say leave early so we could start the stream. I almost texted you guys that.
Honest,
like,
but to what I was gonna say is when is it time or acceptable, or how about this? When is it now not considered taboo to start calling out Nash? Because you still have your Nash defenders that will always come out and say, "Oh, you don't have the basketball knowledge." He does.
But bro, I gotta admit, I'm seeing like you still see it on the timeline on Twitter and whatever places. You still see some people making excuses, but by and large, people that used to cap for that man last season, bro, like it's slipping. Like by and large, I think it's becoming impossible for people that have been massive supporters and capping for him are seeing that you can't seem to make an excuse anymore for the coaching staff.
Yeah, and it's sorry.
It's getting to that point. Like it's getting to the point that your worst people that you don't want to like are even looking at it going, "Ooh, yeah, this is not good."
But this is still to the hardcore Nash defenders, the people that will say, "Well, what is your knowledge of basketball? Who are you to speak on it?" Yeah, like it's you look at it like this. Yes, he was a 2-time MVP. Yes, he is one of the better playmakers of our lifetime. But what has he done as a coach, like so far, to give any form of confidence? Like, what? I don't need to be a 2-time MVP. I don't need to be one of the leading guards to revolutionize our offense to understand he's a disaster of a coach. I don't. We really don't.
Is that what people are saying though? Because Magic Johnson, I don't think anyone would confuse Magic Johnson not being a better all-time player and point guard than Coach Canadian Bacon, and he was a horrible head coach.
Yeah,
so is that the prerequisite?
But Jay, the default argument is they never go to his coaching; they go to his career as a player, and that's what pisses me off. Because at the end of the day, you could be the most skilled player on the court. If you can't dot anything on that clipboard on the sideline, you are not a good coach. I'm sorry. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. The Miami Heat coach, I can't even think of his name. He was a computer scientist before he picked up a clipboard. Spoelstra was a computer scientist. Eric Spoelstra. He was a computer scientist before he picked up a clipboard, and he's one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yeah.
Some of the best coaches never even picked up a ball. So why are we taping for this guy? Because he won back-to-back MVPs in one of those years. Shouldn't even won it. Kobe should have won it. Like, what are we doing?
I'm not disagreeing. The problem I have that people don't seem to be talking about is, regardless of all the turmoil and the soap opera nonsense that this summer was for the Nets, weren't the assistant coaches together all summer? They didn't plan better plays for the last 3 months to run with this team? Shouldn't we be better prepared than what we've shown?
Nah, but Jay, you want to know the argument to that? The KD drama got in the way. The Kyrie drama got in the way.
What that got to do with running plays for them until they're traded?
I
And
don't
coming
know,
up with,
but
with plays for them until they're traded.
they gonna say, oh, it got in the way. There's nothing they could do. It got in the way. Kyrie, it got in the way. There's just nothing it's like they couldn't do their own job. It's not like we all have jobs where everybody hates the boss and there's an ongoing drama, but we still got to do our job at the end of the day. But nope, we're regular citizens. They make millions. We don't have an opinion on it. So I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, and shout out to Smooth Savage. Another one, he said, appreciate super chat. It says, mostly defend Nash, want to see the Nets fail. I will say that in the offseason when people were completely capping for Nash and Sean Marks, when Joe Tsai liked the tweet and it was like coaching players versus, you know what I mean? It was like the two different teams. You're either all pro player or you're all, you know, and a lot of those people were echoing, oh, just blow it up, just trade Kevin Durant, get rid of Kyrie and like trade Ben Simmons or somewhere, like keep Ben Simmons. And it's like, you know what? Like, hey, Ben Simmons may work out and may work out alongside of Kevin Durant and Kyrie. But if I'm honest, if somehow it gotten that bad and we had lost both players, I do not want to build around Ben Simmons whatsoever. Right? Like I'm okay with Ben Simmons alongside of two players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie and believe it can, you know, if Ben figures it out, gets comfortable back to attacking, returns to, you know, even with some of the deficiencies that I think he has in his game, I'm comfortable with it. But if those other two players are not there, I don't want Ben Simmons on this team. I'd trade him too.
Yeah. So
it just, I mean, if I'm being honest, right? Like I definitely think Ben has a lot to bring to a team. It just, the biggest question is he going to get back to, oh God, AJ, imagine building around Ben Simmons led by Steve Nash.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be terrible.
the first 0-82 team in the NBA. The first
Hey, let's have because I've been seeing this tonight. Kev Gomez says Sumner is trash. Please illuminate. Please elaborate.
Illuminate.
Yeah,
he wasn't good. Yeah,
he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't good tonight, but I mean, the last game he played, he looked great. I mean, here's another guy coming back from an Achilles injury.
Who said that?
Some dude named Kev Gomez.
Is he a Nets fan or is he a fan of another team and using reverse psychology?
I don't know.
We cut him.
I'm looking. I want to hear. I'm going to give Kev an opportunity to write in chat, explain why he's trash. Not just right. He's trash. I mean, he did not. He played. See, that's the thing. Nobody played good tonight, right? Like, so if we're gonna go based off tonight, everybody was trash tonight except Kevin Durant.
I need a two-parter. Yeah. After he writes why Sumner is trash, I need him to have that same energy for Patrick Sammy Mills. Yes. Please tell me how you feel about Patrick Sammy Mills.
Oh, man.
And you got to have that same energy. Don't give him a pass.
We gave him a raise, bro. Oh my God. Ain't it for the same money Bruce got in Denver? Or around that time?
It is for the exact same amount.
That's a damn shame.
I need to hear because that's the thing. After tonight, like the one thing I will not do is I saw issues tonight, but there wasn't one person. I know, but somebody just said Sumner had a good first game, but damn, 1 for 8. Dude, go look at the stats. People, if you have not looked at the stats tonight of all of the players, please go do it right now and tell me who didn't have a trash game outside of Kevin Durant. Like, I'll wait.
Let's talk about
I'll wait. You tell me who didn't have a trash game tonight. And that's the part of the problem that fucked my whole process up tonight, was I thought I was at least going to get something from somebody to be able to make some decent, like, kind of conversation judgments off of tonight. But they didn't give me, nobody gave me anything tonight. Like, there was not enough substance there from anyone, from players to coaching staff, to adequately break down anything other than it was just trash across the board. Do I think they're going to play like that every game? No. But I just, it's like if you're going to say Sumner's trash, you might as well just say Patty was trash, Cam was trash, like everybody was trash. Like Yuta was trash. Actually, Morris was okay. Morris gets honorable mention, right? But like,
no, I don't know.
No, you're not giving him a pass either.
Morris struggled to just catch the basketball, not even just hold the basketball.
Yeah, but at least he gave you 10 and 6, which is what you expect out of him. Do you expect any more than 10 and 6 from Morris in the season? A game?
Honestly, Saint, before you even told me that stat line, I thought Morris was trash. So that's
but honestly, I mean, am I wrong or right though? AJ's finally here, but I'm just saying, outside of 10 and 6 from Morris, do you expect more from him in a regular season game?
We really shouldn't. But that's the problem.
So, and that's why I'm not going hard on Morris. Morris gave us what I'm expecting, but nobody played good tonight. I'm still waiting for why Sumner is trash, by the way, but he has not responded. I see the potential of Sumner. I see a guy that coming back from an Achilles injury, tear, right? Same thing, KD. He's an explosive guard who clearly loves to crash and run and cut and take it to the basket. You can tell he's working on ball handling skills a little bit more. He got other guards that were guarding kept kind of picking the ball from him, disrupting his path. But I quite honestly, like, I would much rather have him than Patty Mills or Chios or any other guys like that, right? Like, I don't know how much time he's going to get, but he offers a way more upside than those other players are. If we're being honest, right? Could you make the case for him and DDJ being similar? Right? Like DDJ is better defensively. DDJ does crash. Like they're very similar, you know, like, is he better than DDJ? Is DDJ better than him? There are some similarities in their game.
But DDJ is on a two-way.
No, I know that. I'm just throwing his name in there for trying to make comparisons, conversation. Like
DDJ should have played earlier tonight, bro. He should have played earlier tonight.
I agree.
He got in and he had that energy tonight. Like it was everybody lacked energy tonight. And you know what's embarrassing? Being Chubbs, right? We're sitting in these seats and these Miami fans are talking hella shit behind us, like, oh yeah, Ben's a pussy, Nikola Jovic is God,
But AJ, I'm just like, AJ, were they wrong for this game though? Like, were they wrong for this game?
I know they were. I'm just like, it was just like, it just sucks to be in that position and just hearing them talk shit, like, and your team just not respond, you know?
Mm-mm. Yeah, it was a stinker today.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be here for long. I just like.
No, go for it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I just want to thank Jay for the tickets tonight. Like I said, that's the closest I've ever been to KD, Kyrie. I literally saw Joe. I feel like I could have reached out and touched Joe Tsai and Clara Wu Tsai. Like that's how close we were to them, and I was like, oh my, it was crazy.
Oh, can we talk about Craig Randall? I know me and Jay for a fact were on the Craig Randall, like, give this man a chance last season, and people just straight ignored. And then you saw Craig Randall fucking just go off against the Suns. Like, that's an NBA player, dude.
There was a situation, like, I think behind the scenes why Sean didn't want him.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know anything about that, but
yeah. Jay told us about that.
I have a very bold take with Craig Randall. Craig Randall is who Nets fans think Cam Thomas is right now. Like, put it Craig Randall is who Nets fans think Cam Thomas is right now. Like, I can't. The hell, you want me to just lie? Like Craig Randall is Cam Thomas probably in 6 years, 5 years. Like
his game is mad mature. His game is mad mature.
That's because he's 26.
Yeah.
So we got a response about Sumner, but it wasn't from him. He said Sumner was just running around like a wild horse. He brought nothing to the offense. His defense was trash. He was just getting cardio out there. Who wasn't, by the way? Just curious.
Whoa. Wait a minute. They were talking about Sumner or Patrick Sammy Mills.
No, this guy's talking
Nah.
about Sumner. I'm amazed that people are attacking Sumner and just
Okay.
quiet about like this man's getting no smoke tonight, right? Like
Sumner
zero
was
smoke.
not that bad. He wasn't like that bad to me.
Who,
Now, see-
Sumner or Patty?
No, I'm saying Sumner. Sumner was bad,
Yeah.
but like the guy who Keen Elliott, he's like Sumner was like Patty. I thought he was talking about Patty, but he was talking about Sumner.
No, he's talking about Sumner.
Yeah,
like
nah. Sumner was bad, but like he's not the first person you think of.
No.
no.
But-
I mean, but listen, Sumner. I guess but that's my point. It's like, yo, like who was good tonight? Like
Nobody.
no one. So it's like I get it. Like we go back to that first game. Yuta looked great the first game. Looked terrible this game. Sumner looked great the first game. Looked terrible this game. Clax looked semi-decent the first game. Looked atrocious this game. He was horrible, right? Dayron Sharp, horrible the first game. Looked okay in the fourth, right? Patty Mills looked the same. Nothing in the first game, nothing in the second game of excitement, right? Like it just, and then Cam didn't look good until the fourth quarter as well tonight when he just decided to take it on his own, right? But Ben did not look good. Ben had a couple moments, but Ben looked horrible tonight.
But where do we go from here, Saint? Like, where is the next step?
Well,
Does Sean make a move, or do we just?
I don't.
accept
I'm
it?
not. Well, I definitely think you have to make. We talked about it earlier, where it's like once again, you have another. We said this before the preseason games that we were not comfortable at the 5 position, and you need a legit backup point guard. And again tonight, as the game went on, and Ben finally was out of the game, you saw the same thing that you've seen previous seasons: is nobody out there to run the offense. And your only response was to bring Chioza in at the end of the game. He was the closest. Like Chioza was your best point guard to run the offense. That is sad. If you're thinking Chioza is your answer as a backup point guard, because I still even have questions, even when, like, it doesn't look as bad when Ben sits down and Katie and Kyrie are still on the floor, but let's be honest, it still doesn't look great. It puts us back into the ISO mentality, which will happen. I'm sorry. If you take Ben out of the game and it's just Katie and Kyrie and some other people around him, at some point you're going to run back to the ISO heavy ball. It's just going to happen. You can't convince me. I love Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie Irving, is he capable of being a great passing point guard? I think he could do it. I think he has the skills. But is he going to do it?
He's gonna look to score before
score. We don't want him running the offense. So it's like, so you still have that issue, and that was glaring again tonight. The 5, I think maybe because of the 5 didn't bother me tonight as much as it did the previous game, but definitely tonight was the last game was the center game where you're like, yeah, we need a center. This game, it was the point guard game. And I think that's what it's going to be like through the continuous of the season, is where you're going to have games where you can make an excuse, like you can cover the deficiency from either of those positions. But as the season goes on and we get into the playoffs and you still haven't addressed it, it's like, which we know they're capable of doing that for a whole season because we just watched it for 2 years in a row. Like you can't get away with it.
We got two roster spots left, right? Well, like 2 guaranteed. So it's like, well, Markieff and Yuta are both non-guaranteed. So it's like, do you cut one of them and go for a point guard, or are we keeping both of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
But I do want to throw this out to you guys, and I have seen his name in the chat, and I think we gotta talk about Myles Turner because I need to put my 2 cents on it. I've seen damn near every Nets fan talk about Myles Turner, and I want to just put the idea out there and see how y'all react to it. Do you actually want Myles Turner, or do you want the idea of Myles Turner? And just listen, do you want him as the player or do you want a player of his archetype? Because let's realistically break down Myles Turner. Myles Turner, while yes, he is a stretch big, he will give us defense. He led the league in blocks like how many times? He is just as injury prone as Kyrie. As much as we get on Kyrie for not being there, bro misses a lot of time, just as much. On top of that, he can't play with he can't coexist with a ball dominant 4. There's a reason Sabonis got traded. Turner and Sabonis can't coexist. So what makes you think Ben Simmons and Myles Turner is going to coexist?
Reach.
And let's be honest, yeah, Ben Simmons matching with a big like Turner would be great. Wait a minute, Ben Simmons with a big. Where have we seen this before? Joel Embiid. Same problem. They didn't get anywhere.
And Myles Turner's not even that good of a. First of all, he's not even that good of a rebounder, and he's not that good of a shooter. It's not like he's a sniper from 3. People acting like he's a.
Yeah, and sorry to cut you off, but please give me a Myles Turner game where you can say this is why everybody wants Myles Turner. Almost immediately when we say we should get Myles Turner, oh, he's a big that can stretch and play defense. Where is this game that shows us? Matter of fact, how about
this?
But
Chubbs, I would still take Myles Turner over the shit that we got right now.
I would gladly take him, but let's not act like Myles Turner would drastically change, because I feel like we as a fan base like the idea of Turner than what Myles Turner actually is. We like the idea.
But are you trying to say that if you didn't add Myles Turner to this team, that wouldn't make a huge impact?
What? I'm not denying.
Personally, I think Myles Turner is overrated. Personally,
I'm not, but that's not the conversation. But separate the conversation, Chubbs. I get what you're saying, but I gotta ask this: separate the conversation of overrating and would he help this team, and would he be good for this team? Separate the two things, because I think that's what happens with this discussion is people either get into this whole overrating, underrating versus would he be good for this team? Would he be better than Day'Ron Sharpe for us at the 5? Yes.
No doubt.
Would he be better than Claxton at the 5 for us?
No doubt.
That's all I give a shit about.
Oh.
I'm not saying, do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying, and it's not me advocating, let's go get Myles Turner. Myles Turner's him. He's this, he's the best. No, I'm just saying at this point, the dude is better than the 2 options we have. Would he make the team better? I think so. Does it answer all our problems? No. But is he better than some options like a Dwight Howard or, would I like Boogie? But we know that's not going to happen.
I don't think he's a better option than Dwight Howard.
You think Dwight Howard's better?
No, I think he's a better option because Dwight Howard only costs money. Myles Turner costs Joe Harris and potentially draft picks.
No, I get that. I'm not getting into that aspect. It was just more of the argument where people are either people are really over the top about Myles Turner or they're not. And my side of the argument always been, Jay, is I'm not even arguing about that. I don't even give a shit about that. All I care about is that if he was on the squad, would he be better than XYZ no matter how we got him, right?
Nets fans do not want Myles Turner, and they're lying, and I'm too intelligent for them to lie to me. And you know how I know for a fact they don't want Myles Turner? Because when we had Myles Turner on our team before, y'all hated him. And people don't even realize who I'm talking about. We already have Myles Turner. Listen to the description that Chubb gave.
Yeah.
He's a big who can block shots, shoot from long distance, can't rebound to save his damn life, is injury prone. Guess what? He wore number 11. His name was Brook Lopez, and y'all hated his ass. So quit saying that you want Myles Turner. You don't want Myles Turner. You didn't want Brook Lopez. So stop. Everybody not dumb like that. You hated Brook Lopez. Now you want Brook Lopez again.
Would you take Myles over Dayron or Clax at this point?
What?
Would you take Myles Turner over Dayron or Clax? I mean, Clax or Dayron at this point?
I heard you the first time.
Well, yeah, I didn't get an answer.
but
No, because for me, it's not a fair question from the standpoint. The same thing that I said earlier. What does Myles Turner cost to get?
I can believe that out of it for a sec. Like, you know where I'm talking about. Like, I'm not. I get all that.
No,
I'm just saying.
just as a player by himself, absolutely not, because he doesn't help us. He doesn't help. AJ just said he's not a sniper. People act like he's a sniper. He's not a sniper.
Yeah.
And what does he really help us with?
But is Boogie a sniper?
Boogie's not a
better
sniper,
than Myles
but
Turner.
we're asking them.
I had to
we're
ask that
asking
question.
them. No,
He's
we're
better
asking
than
them.
Myles Turner, bro.
We're asking them to do two completely different things. We're asking Myles Turner to be a starter and a floor spacer. We're
Yeah.
asking Boogie to be a competent backup center.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm
If
just.
we're gonna be
Yeah.
honest, and I don't remember who said it or who tweeted it earlier, but did Clax look like a starter tonight,
Nope.
Nope.
or did he look like a backup big, if that?
Barely.
and to respond with Saint, while yes, Myles Turner would immediately become a starting big on this team, Saint, you know who else would have been a starting big on this team? Andre Drummond. And since we're speaking of
I
Andre
know,
Drummond,
but I'm just.
remember,
I had to throw those questions out there, man, because
yeah, but
I think
let's
people confuse the two.
right. But let's rehash the old wounds. I lost count how many times Nets fans twerked for Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond. Let's get Andre Drummond. Let's get him in the Nets jersey. Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond. He went to LA. Oh my God, why didn't we get Andre Drummond? Why didn't he get Andre Drummond? He would have been a starting center immediately. We finally get Andre Drummond. What the hell does he do in the playoffs? And this comes back.
Play volleyball.
Yeah, he decided he wanted to play volleyball. So this comes back to it. Do you actually want the player, or are you in love with the idea of the player?
Well, I think a lot of that was what we didn't have a lot of, like, that was unfortunately, we keep getting put in a position where we only have a limited option to players available. So it's like we tend to get excited for players that, quite honestly, we shouldn't get as exciting as we are for them. But when you realize, like, hey, Drummond's better than DeAndre Jordan, or you realize this other, Turner is better than Sharp, or you know what I mean? Like, we're not really in that position to be like shopping like we really want to without having to destroy something. But I get what you're saying.
Also,
It just
Myles Turner, I just realized he don't really have a post game either. Like, he don't have no post game. Like,
yeah.
I just realized that too. But yeah, that's a little thing on Myles Turner.
It just, I mean, and that is, I guess, the as like getting to like close it out is like this is the part where if you want to again put some attention on Sean Marks and what this front office is doing and his team about, like, here we are faced once again with, hey, we're happy with what you've done over here as far as picking these players up. We see the improvement here. We like this. But you have these two glaring, obvious holes in the system, and each of them are an injury away from a disaster, right? Like an injury to one of Ben, injury to Clax or Dayron is going to be gnarly to deal with, right? An injury to Ben, being our ball distributor, is disastrous because that puts us literally right back into ISO ball because we have zero person to actually run a competent offense. It just, so it to me, again, it like puts that attention back on somebody like Sean Marks. We're like, hey, you did good over here, bud, but you're leaving us once again, you're leaving us in a situation where that if we take a hit to this team, we are going to be in trouble. And that was like one of my biggest gripes from last season before. And even I kept asking this from the beginning of the season was, if we take a hit, can we sustain it? Or are we going to go on another 10-game losing streak? Are we going to be able to survive like some of these other teams? Are you protecting us correctly? And the answer right now is no. Like, you are not. Like, forget coaching right now. Like, you're not protecting the team. You're setting the team up to fail by not acquiring another legit 5 and another legit point guard at no matter what level you want, but somebody who can competently do those things. And if you're not going to address it, it's like and just hope to wait that maybe a trade will take place. We've already seen how that works. We don't know, that means what? You're going to wait all the way to the buyout market? I have zero hope or faith that they're actually going to do something before the season starts. Like, I'm going to be really shocked if they do, like just utterly shocked. But I can't imagine that that's actually going to happen. Every time we look at something that says, hey, we need attention, we sign another G Leaguer to just pat the Long Island Nets.
And the people in the comments saying Myles Turner got a post game, where you do a lot. Every time we play Myles Turner, I barely see him do anything in the post. Anything in the post. Where is his post game? Where is Myles Turner? Every time we play Myles Turner, you can run the film back. Every time we play the Nets, I do not see him do any post moves or score in the post.
And people said, I don't know if you're saying this, like they only got so much though. I'm sorry. I can look to Patty Mills as one thing, right? Like Patty Mills is okay. Why do you not you let him not pick up his option just to sign him for more money? That's a waste, right? Like you invited a bunch of scrubs to training camp for what? Chioza, Raekwon. Jay said this earlier. Like, look at the guys they invited. Like, they have no chance of making it, but that's what you chose. Like, you chose to put non-essential players on the training camp roster instead of actual positions, like outside of Chioza being a point guard. But let's be honest, right? Like, you chose to put non-essential players on your training camp roster when there were other players out there that you could have just seen. Like, I'm sure you could have found another center that, like, just to see, like, hey, I actually has something to contribute, or hey, this point guard, right? Like, that's the part I don't get either, where it's like, what are you really doing here? But I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'm not losing. Like, all hope is not lost. I do know we look completely different when we will obviously have Seth, Joe Harris, TJ Warren, when Kyrie, KD, and Ben are all playing together. Like, I know we're a better team than what we saw tonight. So I'm not going to be like but once again, there are concerns. And if you want to pretend like it's just preseason, don't worry about it, everything's fine. Well, have at that. And then we'll talk later when you're like, hey, yeah, I noticed that doesn't look good. But there are still some issues and concerns with this team. Coaching is still a big suspect issue. I'm happy to some degree with shot. Like, listen, I may not want certain things with the Nets, but I'll give Sean Marks credit and KD for saying, hey, I want this player, bringing Royce in, doing that. Like, I'm happy. Yeah, good. I'm glad you did that. But yet you still, like, if we're going for a championship team, like, there's no room for, like, you have to be able to look at something and say, hey, if you're trying to run a championship team and you're ignoring that and that, it's going to make it a lot tougher for you to become a championship caliber team. Because right now, I don't see it. I see a very good team. I see a good contending team. I see a potential top 5 team, but I don't see a championship caliber team right now. I just don't. And I have no problems. Like, somebody disagrees with that, fine, like, whatever. But I don't see it yet. I see definitely a decent, good team, but I don't see a championship team. That's why people keep asking, like, I'm not there yet. But those were kind of my last word rants. Chubbs, last words. We'll go to AJ, and we'll let Jay close us out.
It was a pleasure meeting AJ. We will run it back for practice in the park. We'll probably have some vlog footage. As for the Nets,
yeah, that's right. I was gonna say that. Sorry. Make sure you guys do a vlog for practice in the park, like AJ did that one time going to the game. That would be hot. Make sure you guys do that.
I'll make sure. Outside of that, growing pains. I think it's best to say growing pains. It's best to vent it all out now, but we can't just sit around and act like this wasn't gonna happen. Like, we can't act like Ben Simmons wasn't gonna have a game like this. Can't sit around and act like Ben Simmons was just gonna come out of nowhere shooting and being aggressive. Let's be a little realistic. Coming off the off season we had, the players that are returning, some of these players are coming back from surgery. Specifically, Joe Harris coming back from 2 surgeries. Ben Simmons coming back from back surgery. If your main attribute is athleticism and you're coming off a back surgery, he's going to have games like this. Now, would he have games like this without the surgery? Probably. But he was bound to have games like this regardless. So let's not act brand new. Let's not act like this team is invincible. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, get a little realistic. We see the positives of this team. And honestly, with this game and the last game, we saw the negatives. Let's just hope this team works on the negatives and keeps improving the positives. That's all I gotta say.
Facts. AJ.
Yeah, again, shout out to Chubbs and Jade. Like, it was so good meeting you guys and in real life. Shout out everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Follow us on all our socials. With this team, like Sane was saying, like, I'm done with it's just preseason. Like, we've been through too much. You know what I'm saying? We went through hell this offseason. We've been through too much for that bullshit. You know, like, every game should matter. We gotta take the regular season seriously. We gotta take how we play seriously. Like, we look like a fucking YMCA rec team out there, you know? No sense of urgency. Like, there's no reason. I don't care if it's preseason. You got to have some type of pride as a player. You know, you got to have some type of pride to not let the Miami bench 30-piece you at your own home state. As some type of pride. There's a little bit of pride. You know, I know it's preseason and don't count. But what kind of pride is that? You know what I'm saying? And we just got to have, at every moment in this season is important, because I was looking at KD's body language today, and he was definitely upset. Like, he was definitely upset. You could tell he was upset. With the coach, will Nash. I think I saw him have a long talk with Ben and a long talk with Nash. So it was like, you can tell he was upset at how everybody was played, because, and I was telling Chubbs this, it was literally like we were back in Game 5 of Milwaukee Bucks series. It was just KD, ISO, KD, ISO, KD, ISO, KD, ISO. You know, KD had 25 points tonight. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Like, the way this roster is constructed, the way Sean did it, it shouldn't have to be like that, you know?
Especially coming off Monday's game where we rarely saw an ISO.
Yeah.
That's the bigger disappointment.
Yeah, like, what happened to this ball movement? What happened to this new offense that, you know, every Nets Twitter was talking about, this brand new offense of ball movement and the screening, the slips, the pin downs, you know, the misdirections. Like, we didn't see any of that today.
Like, AJ, do you think the coaching staff is like hyping these players up, and these players are kind of buying that shit a little bit? Like, yeah, you guys look great, everything, and then they get out there and it's like,
yeah, it's
and
like,
they face a real team instead of like each other, and it's like, yeah, this shit ain't working. Like, do you think there's a little bit of that going?
Yeah, and I know somebody in the comments said full team. I don't give a about the full team. The Miami bench 30-pieced us, and we had half of our starters out there. That wasn't the Miami full team either. That wasn't my full team. So it's like, come on, man. You gotta have some type of pride, bro.
Yeah.
Some type.
But the AJ, and I said, it's not even about the loss, bro. It's the effort. Like, that's the biggest thing tonight that like stands out to me the most. And I look at it, is it's like, bro, it was the effort. Like, you could have lost that game, but
habits in basketball matter. Like my coach used to always
Thank you.
tell me, like, you gotta have we have to play every game like it's, you know what I'm saying, like seriously, because its habits do carry over into the regular season. Like the way our type of play, we don't want this to carry over into the regular season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree. Like again, I don't care about the loss, but I care about effort. I care about like you actually showing like a competent game plan, or at least one to even look like you're working on it. It didn't even look like they were trying to work on a game plan.
Yeah,
It just
like
all
natural
around.
adjusting.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like, or he wasn't like, calling out. We weren't calling any. I don't see no set plays was called, or
nope.
it was just like,
It was
okay, we
back
have
to
30
yeah.
minutes, let me just chill and do whatever.
Well, it looked like you and your friends playing pickup basketball.
Yeah,
Like you didn't. Nobody really talked about anything. You just picked your players and hey, you're the hot hand. All right, here, have fun. Dribble, do what you got to do.
yes. Shout out.
You went robot.
I went wrong. My bad. Well, yeah, I'm at. That's my last words. That's my little rant.
All right, Jay, get us out of here.
Let me echo something that AJ just said. You can tell the way that, and I'm not just talking about the Nets, but the Nets tonight. You can tell the way that a team practices by what they do during the game.
Yep.
And this is a microcosm of our lack of preparation in practice. They're soft in practice, so they're soft in the game. They take on the tenor of their head coach, who has no fire within him whatsoever, and he's soft just the way that the team is.
Like
Markieff,
that photo right there, Jay.
oh
Facts.
man, absolutely. And
That was him
notice that
tonight.
his hands are together because he's practicing clapping. The Markieff Morris made a statement recently about lack of toughness, and you can tell that he's not ruffling any feathers because he's not guaranteed yet. I wonder if his tone and his leadership will shine through when he's guaranteed. Now, what I really want my last words to be are for all the Sean Marks apologists, right? For everyone who thinks that preseason doesn't matter, and for everyone that thinks we need to be patient. Sean Marks has been GM of the Brooklyn Nets for over 6.5 years. At what point in time do we need to stop with the patience piece? Is it after 10 games? Is it after 20 games? Is it when the new year hits? At what point should we look at Sean Marks? Should we look at Coach Canadian Bacon? I mentioned that should we look at Jacques Vaughn? I mentioned them because we were told over the offseason that the assistant coaches were the problem. So they fired Adam Harrington. They fired David Vanderpool. They fired Amari Stoudemire. Coach Ott couldn't wait to get out of here and go to the Lakers. The guy, Sebastian Poirier, just left for the Dallas Mavericks like a week or two ago. He couldn't wait to get out of here. Who leaves a team right before training camp? Nobody does that, man. And he was the head trainer, and he couldn't wait to get up out of here. So we were told that those assistant coaches, I'm not talking about Poirier because he was the head trainer. We were told that those assistant coaches were the problem. So since they've been gotten rid of, how long do we need to be patient with this group before we see the team running like a team?
Ooh, that's a good question. What's a good game number?
Preach.
And
But Jay,
does that include? Let me ask you another question.
This takes time, the KD drama, the Kyrie drama. This takes time. They couldn't do what could they have done It's not like they could have still done their job. They're getting paid at the highest degree. They could have done it at the same time.
It's going to take them at least 30 games, Jay, to figure it out. We're still trying to figure things out, Jay. We got a new group of guys that haven't played together, and then we're going to have a second
all for all of that. And you know my rebuttal to everyone who's saying that. You look at the guy, the coach in Memphis, Taylor Jenkins, right? 3J has been hurt a lot. Ja Morant missed how many games last year?
Yep.
What was their record without Ja Morant?
It was better than one with him.
So please don't tell me you need your stars in there for your team to still run like a well-oiled machine.
That's why
you need your coaches coaching and actually drawing up systems so that when players are hurt, stars are hurt, guys are still able to be put in there and put in positions to win and win at a high level, a la Memphis last year. So when should the patience run out? I'll hang up and I'll listen.
No, Jay. I want you to, before you do, we have actual.
No, that's what people say when they call on a radio show.
Oh, okay. Well, we have actual footage of AJ at the game. Actual footage. Oh, look at it. He gets the ball. Oh shit. Oh, through the legs, AJ.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, bro.
So AJ, your handle is as leaky as Patrick Sammy Mills. Man.
That's me right next to him. The white dude. That could be us, AJ, right there.
Yo, that is crazy, yo. Twin.
But that's right. AJ got a nice chain though.
Like I said, these first 10 games, man, are too important. And like too important, like ridiculously important. Arguably more important if we do good in the season and we get a potential deep playoff run. Like these 10 games are kind of important because we got to set the tone. We have to.
Hey, Almac, I'm gonna defend you, Jay, real quick. Almac, yes, Jay in the beginning of the season definitely defended Nash, but Jay changed his mind like he's allowed to do and saw and completely changed from what he saw and what he learned beginning in the season and to the end of the season. Jay's allowed to change his mind. Jay was giving.
Am I supposed to stand on what I've previously said if I find new evidence?
Exactly. And that's why I don't give Jay a hard time, because when I was saying things negative about Nash, I would argue with Jay and Brandon, and Jay came out, was like, yeah, dude, you even said, hey, my opinion and what I thought of him and what I was thinking was wrong. I got new information. I changed my opinion. That's it. That's what normal grown adult people do when they have an opinion or a view on something. They get new information. Your opinion is supposed to change. Yeah. The reason why I harassed the shit out of Brandon is because Brandon will never admit he was wrong. And I was right. He just ignores that. But no,
but Jay never wanted Nash to be the coach, though.
He didn't. And that's the other thing, too. Yeah,
I never wanted him as the coach.
I do remember that. Even though you defended him at times, you always did say who you wish our coach was. I will give you that.
Yeah, Jay never wanted him to be the coach. Like he just gave him a chance, and like I said, like most of the Nets fans gave Steve Nash a chance, and now they're seeing how he really is. You know?
Can people also stop putting "let's sign Rondo"? Okay, Rondo, no, thank you. Like, the last two things that I've seen, dude. The last game I saw Rondo in it, like, had his hand in a gun position to a fan's forehead. That was one. I'm like, yeah, that's not good.
He pulled a gun on someone.
And then he put a
gun on his child's mother.
He pulled a gun on his baby mom's.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a domestic
we do not need
charge.
Rondo. Yeah. Like, move on from Rondo.
Put a gun on his baby mom's. I don't think any team will sign.
Yes, he did, dude. Yeah, Yeah.
I think it's domestic battery or domestic violence gun charge, something like that.
In the
And that was a
last
few months
season,
ago.
yeah. Rondo kind of like showed him like who he was in the last season between how he was acting on the court towards fans and then his own personal life. Like he kind of showed you like, yeah, Rondo, you were good at one point. Your services might be nice, but no.
So the Nets signed Noah Kirkwood. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
another G League.
that was our undraft, like one of the undrafteds we picked up. We didn't bring him after summer league. We got him back, I guess.
And he did all right in the summer league. Nothing spectacular, but he did okay.
it's a G League signing, right? Probably.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's probably not even going to see the roster on the main roster.
Yeah, he's gonna get waived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be I don't know. Like I said, we're gonna shut it down, but it is the preseason. I'm not in panic mode, but there's definitely things that are concerned that I think you have to look at and you have to keep an eye on with this team. It'll be interesting to see how the next two games go and who plays. Unfortunately, I wish we had TJ Warren in this preseason. Unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna have to wait into the season for that. But hopefully, we get Seth back before people are saying the potential last preseason game. That would be nice to have. Hopefully, that like Jay was saying, that kind of pushes Patty down a little bit. I unfortunately think Patty is for some reason an integral part of the coaching staff's rotations at this moment, which I don't like, but I'm hoping that changes. I'm just hoping for the next two, like quite honestly, if I'm hoping the next two games, I'm hoping to see more of the big three. And from what you've seen reports of what Kevin Durant and both Kyrie Irving have told Ben Simmons is they want him more active, attack more. Like they can tell he's being reserved, timid, whatever you want to call it. But I need to see more, man. I really do, because if we're gonna start the season this way, I'm a little that first what is it, the first 5 games? Or is it the first 5 or 10 games are against some really good teams?
Yeah, our schedule is tough, man. Like
that first stretch of our schedule is not going to be a cakewalk. And if we're
not going to be no Miami,
nope,
nope,
it's
not at all. So it's like I don't. I have a feeling if it goes, I'm just afraid that we're going to hear the same Nash shit we heard from last year. We're just trying to figure it out. We're going to keep running. We're going to try some new things. We got some guys that never played together. Ben's still ramping up.
First 5 games, Pelicans, Raptors, Grizzlies, Bucks, Mavericks.
All high energy teams.
We could easily go 0-5 if we don't come correct, yo.
We could.
If we don't.
No, those first 3 games, like Pelicans, Grizzlies, who was Raptors, those are all going to be running.
Pelicans, Raptors.
Yeah,
Bucks.
Those first 3 teams are going to be
all well coached too.
Yeah. Like I think you could slow the Bucks down a little bit. If I had to choose like between those first 4, like I think you could probably slow the Bucks down a little bit more, but those other 3 teams are going to be out there like hustling. Maybe the Pelicans you could slow down a little bit, but Toronto's going to be running. You already know what the Grizzlies going to be. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
No, we can't sign Ime. He's still under contract with the Celtics. Somebody asked.
No, I think the only way you get him is if they let him go or he gets traded.
Yeah, gotta get fired or traded.
Yeah,
they're holding on to him because they want to trade him.
Yeah.
Yo, they're gonna trade him. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah.
I mean, rightfully so.
Is Al Mack a Nets fan? Because now he's talking like he's a fan of another team.
Is that
Was
the
he?
person who earlier was talking about cut Sumner? Think Sumner was a bum?
I
I
forget.
told you
Al
that he
Mack,
was
are
a
you
fan of
now? I
another
thought you were a
team.
Nets fan. Now you're
I
talking like
told you
you
he
are
was a
beating
fan of
them.
another team.
He's an op, yo.
He is
He
an
wants
op.
Sumner
Al
on his
Mack,
team.
you're out, bro. You're out. You're out the circle.
Get out of here.
You're out of the circle of trust. What do you mean you are? Man, Al Mack.
He said you aren't being the Bucks. Like,
Yeah, who's your team? Al Mack. Al Mack just exposed himself pretty much. Damn. He
damn,
was he was undercover.
they said, yo, we gotta add this. Somebody said Claxton's gonna be baby food on those teams. on the five game streak.
I agree.
Damn, son.
I definitely agree. You think you saw what Bam did to him tonight? Bam 6'8". What's JV gonna do to him first game?
Yeah, he goes up against Steven Adams. Yeah, he's cooked. He's cooked.
He's going against Steven Adams, man.
AJ, I thought this was I thought this was the man's year to I thought this was his breakout year.
He's still gonna take that leap. Just.
Yo, I'm willing to put money that JaVale McGee gonna put it on him. When we play the Mavericks. We played the Mavericks twice in our first 10 games.
We gotta figure something out because this is not looking good right now.
Oh, this is funny.
To give the last preseason, if we look like this next 2 preseason games, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. That's how I was looking at the Nets tonight, man. That's how I was on the Nets tonight.
Yo, big fan, Breezy. I hope it is Clack's year, yo.
Oh, he said start Cam?
Now he said Rack Attack Clacks is serious this year. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I just can't see it right now.
He's in good shape, and then he's in good shape. It's just the game has to it's same thing with Ben. He's not being aggressive. Like he catches.
We lost you.
They're not running easy plays for him. Like Clint Capella has no offensive bag, but he can score double-digit points easily.
Yeah,
because they just run lob plays for him.
You only threw one lob for Clax all game.
Yeah, and it was a horrible pass.
Yeah, it was a bad pass. It was high.
AJ, are you telling me right now we're getting this version of Clax from last year?
Yo, chill, man. He cut the dreads.
Oh my god.
You missed out on the. Oh yeah, we don't have. We got to come up. I wonder what new fashion Clax is gonna have this year.
He's gonna have to one of those outfits.
Hey, dude, he's working. Hey, he's gotta outlive these, bro. I'm just saying. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Listen. Hopefully next game. Hopefully they give us something to bounce back. I know this stream probably seemed very negative all around. I still have some hope for us. I still think there's some positives. I definitely like some of the players. I don't know what happened tonight. I don't know why it just seemed like across the board everybody was doing bong rips before the game. That was
the positives. The positives are KD. He had an eye game. Kessler's defense at the beginning was great. Patrick Sammy Mills established himself as the 15th man.
I don't know. I think you're giving Kess a little bit more though, Jay. I'm not.
Nah, his defense early was incredible.
It was good, but I need more from Kessler, dude. I need more, man.
A couple open threes that were not good.
Short.
Yeah, he still freaks out when he gets an open lane to the basket. He still doesn't know what to do there.
It's like everybody on the team.
No, he got blocked. He got blocked by Strus and went right back up for the layup.
I'll give him that.
He had a few points. He had a few points at the rim that he scored.
But he's not. He didn't. I mean, I'm just putting him in the category. Overall, I'm not.
He was probably
overall, I'm not impressed with Kessler. Right now, I'm just not. Overall, the positives that he's always had since he came into the league are still there, but overall, I wish he would have taken a bigger leap. I wish Dayron would have taken a bigger leap. I wish Cam would have taken a bigger leap. And right now, I'm just not. I haven't, between summer league and the first couple preseasons game, I'm just not happy with where I was expecting them to be or hoping them to be, I guess is better way of saying it.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, that's where, and it's not like to shit on Kessler. It's just, I felt like I was hoping that these guys, because it really, I mean, if these guys had taken the leap that I think we all hoped and kind of expected, it would be that much better. But I still think we're looking at the same type of caliber player as they were last year. And maybe maybe it may take a little bit another season, but who knows?
If that's the case, since Sean Mark said that KD is no longer the player development guy, and he's saying that Adam Caporn is the player development guy, we need to look at him. Why haven't these guys gotten better at all since last season if you're now the player development guy? They brought you from the Long Island Nets to be the player with no NBA experience whatsoever. Another guy who, why is he hired as an assistant coach, which is ridiculous. But if you're now telling me that he's the new player development guy and you're saying that our guys are not developing, he needs to be looked at.
Because I think it'd be fair to say we all see the positives from Cam, Kess, and Dayron. It's just you're not consistently seeing those positives.
Rodney 5, you right. Rodney S, you right. Yo, somebody block Khalil.
He's goofy as hell out there.
Why you saying like that? He said goofy as hell.
But he's right.
Somebody block Khalil. Block Khalil, yo. Alfred Payton, come on. Oh my God. Are we down that bad?
I'm putting you in timeout, Khalil.
You put him in timeout.
Putting you in timeout, bro.
I mean, I mean, again, but I mean, I don't know if we overrated some of these guys because of where they got picked in the draft and whatnot, but and it's kind of, I don't know, what's kind of crazy is that you saw the stretch of games last season where it was just like KD and the rookies and Patty and the rookies. And these rookies were playing like, you were like, yo. And then it's like the regression. And it just hasn't turned. I mean, it's like there's definitely potential there. It's just I'm thinking it's going to take a lot longer than I was thinking it might.
That may be true, but we have vets.
We don't have the time.
Should be playing over them to begin with.
Yes.
And I did want to highlight something though, that Cam a few times tonight tried to be that catch and shoot guy.
Yes, I did. He did make the 1-3,
and he went straight to shooting.
Yes.
So I guess he's attempting to develop into that.
That's true, because he did. Was it from? I can't remember if it was from KD or what, but he did hit that like kind of wing three. Like it wasn't necessarily. It was in between the side and the top of the key, where he literally got the ball and just went straight up with it. No dribble, no nothing, just straight up. Yeah, exactly. That was the 1-3 that he made, which was a catch and shoot 3. He just literally caught it. I will give him. That's a good point, Jay. I'll give him that. People need to give up on Boogie, dude. Boogie's not coming. If Boogie has to announce that he's a changed person, signs.
Nah, he did. He did.
I know,
with Chris Haynes.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's where he's at, trying to get on a team, I don't think the Nets are going to bring him in. I don't see it.
No, but I would be surprised if we brought anybody in, because these guys are stubborn and they want to. Again, how patient are we supposed to be? If this is the 15 that we're running with, and the only people that they're going to cut are Chioza and what's the guy, Raekwon Gray.
But we haven't even seen him out there. That's what the other thing, right? Has he been out at all in the first 2 games?
Wait. No, he played on Monday.
Yeah, he played on
I
Monday.
must have missed
Tuesday,
when he
Monday,
came.
Tuesday, whenever it was.
He must
On
have been out
Monday.
there for like 2 minutes, right? I didn't
He
even see
he
him at
was
all.
out there in the fourth quarter, and he took a 3-pointer, and that shit almost broke the backboard. It was
Oh,
not pretty at all, yo. Like, son, that ain't you. But
Yeah.
they got to cut those guys.
Yep.
And if the 15 we have, or the 15 that we're running with, okay, prove all of us wrong. Who are naysayers right now?
yeah.
Alondis is going to get moved down to.
Y'all think Coach lost faith in Dayron because he kind of benched him like kind of bad.
Yo, said that before you got on the stream, man.
Oh, he
Yeah.
lost faith.
Day went from backup big to third string big in
Damn.
one
Drew Morris
preseason
out
game.
there.
All right. Yeah, that's all I needed to know.
And Alondis Williams is probably. I mean, we haven't. We saw, but I have a feeling Alondis is going to wind up starting in the G League too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he should. But no, we need whoever the backup big is. Look at what we're playing the Pelicans in game 1. Look at who they throw out there. My son asked me when we were at the game when he was, and again, I talk about my sons a lot. But
I know. I was
I'm
going to say he asked
talking,
you a lot of questions. I like that.
and I love that. But he was watching Patrick Sammy Mills tonight, and he realizes himself how bad he is, and he was like, "Yeah, he's the worst player on the court." I was like, "He is." I mean, he was like, "Who makes something around what Patty makes so we can trade him?" And I pulled it up on my phone, man, and he was like, and one of the guys who makes somewhere in the neighborhood was Jackson Hayes, and he was like, "Can we trade for him?" I was like,
Oh.
I would love to. But the reason why it was funny to me is because Jackson Hayes is one of the Pelicans' backup bigs. Dayron is going to have to contend with him in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or Larry Nance Jr. Whoever is running the backup bigs, if Dayron is in that position to be our first backup big, he's going to have to contend with these guys. Jackson Hayes is completely active. He grabs rebounds. He's just all over the place. You got to have that same energy.
Yeah, and I'm not. If truth be told, I am not excited about either of our centers right now.
What's crazy?
They have Clax has his moments. Dayron has had his moments in the past, but like as of right now, from what I'm seeing from both centers, I'm not impressed at all. Numerous times, it's like when I would look to see Clax go for a rebound, it's like he would jump under the ball. It was like this weird angle, like.
He wasn't out there rebounding at all. And
No, I know. And anytime he tried
some of these comments.
Oh yeah, some of them are hilarious.
Yo, Rodney S said, and I saw this at the game, and it was hilarious to me. Duncan literally just shot over that midget. Yeah,
yeah, he did.
Like literally did. Like it wasn't even.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yo, what's crazy is Patty Mills didn't even play this much when he was on the Spurs, yo. Even Popovich didn't even play him this much.
He has regressed so much, and hopefully it's just a preseason thing, but he has regressed.
Yeah.
Yo, Patty, DJ, I don't think we can do Patty for Kenrich Williams because he just signed an extension. I don't know if the rule is that he has to agree to it in the first year. Something like that. It may be, it may not be. And if it's not, then he can't be traded until like a certain date. And I've been asking for Kenrich Williams for probably 2 years now.
Yeah, Jay was talking about that offseason. I remember.
And one of the reasons I would like him is to shave the back of his head because he got a hairstyle like it's the 60s or 70s. Yeah,
he got a mullet.
Crazy.
He got a weird hair. I know what Jay's talking about. What's the dude's name
It's
again?
called a shag.
What's the guy's name?
Williams.
Oh yeah, that one.
Kenrich Williams.
Kendrick.
Kenrich Williams.
He has that one patch on the back.
He does.
Dante Reeves said Duncan Robinson was treating Patty Mills like a child.
Oh yeah, he does. Oh hell yeah, yeah. This hair.
Yo, Cypher talking about Patty for PJ Washington. Man, I wish.
Yo, they would never do that.
Yo, they roasting Patrick Sammy, man.
I mean, bro, if you're gonna.
Yo, Big Fan Breezy, I agree with you. Cam Thomas should get Patty minutes, but they keep popping him off the bench.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, I don't know why he's playing so much.
Yo, Patty is effective if he's hitting threes only.
Yeah.
Yo, look
And
at
that's
that.
where Big
Look at
Fan Breezy talking about Cam should get Patty's minutes. Cam can score in different ways. Patty can score on threes and sometimes step back jump shots, but he got that block today. So a couple times.
Oh man, Drake really stole that look.
Look at that
Nah, that
hairdo,
looks
bro.
ugly, yo.
Saint,
That
look up
shit's
a
fire, bro.
recent picture of Drake with his new hairdo. That's literally what he has.
Look at that hairdo. That shit's fire, bro.
Oh man.
Nah, bro. He gotta. I want to shave
That
that.
shit is
Nah,
fire,
AJ.
dude.
Nah, y'all.
Oh,
You know
God.
Drake be rocking that perm. That's what he got inspired by this, man.
Nah, Drake had the. Yeah, he did have the perm, joint.
Yeah.
But he had like.
Yo, for everybody who's asking for a backup center, I'm not disagreeing with you all, but remember, we have to remember, 12 guys have guaranteed contracts. Twin Morris doesn't have a guarantee. That's 13. Sumner doesn't have a guarantee. That's 14. Yuta doesn't have a guarantee. That's 15. We'd have to get rid of one of those guys or trade somebody who's tradable in order to sign a backup big.
Yeah, so I don't think Sean's gonna. I don't think he's gonna cut anybody. That's the problem.
If he would have cut Twin, Utah, or Sumner, they're getting picked up by another team the same day.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't cut those guys.
Yeah,
Those three have shown energy that some of the regular rotation guys haven't shown.
yeah.
Are you trying to say this right here?
The
This is his
results don't
hairdo,
pick
right?
up.
Yep.
That's it right there.
Yeah, that whack ass perm. That's the got that from Kenrich Williams.
At least he
Man.
got some waves in it though. Like, Kenneth has the shag, like no waves.
Nah,
AJ,
Drake.
you know
Drake,
that's
Drake needs
not
to
real.
bring.
That's artificial.
Nah, Drake needs to bring this haircut back, bro.
I don't like the haircut though. You're right.
Oh God!
Yeah, man.
Yo,
You know,
Somebody said
my all-time favorite haircut will always be this one, though, AJ. It'll always be that one.
yo, nah, I can't be good. Somebody said tell Sean Marks to trade his boyfriend Mills. That's crazy.
Amy
Yo.
Parker, don't listen to Lindell, man. Lindell trolling.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's not a Nets fan. He said he's in here just trolling. The light-skinned undercover brother. All right,
Yo, Mackenzie, I've been said trade for Ayton. January
Mackenzie's in
15th, he's
here?
able to be traded. January 15th.
Is that Mackenzie from Twitter? That's her.
And
Okay.
I've already said trade for Ayton. That's Joe Harris and Nicholas Claxton. Their contracts go into the range of what Ayton can be traded for.
What up, Mackenzie?
And you do whatever picks need to be included. I'm definitely doing that. I'm throwing in Cam Thomas, and they give us Cam Payne. So we'll have a center and a backup point guard.
T. Lindell, Kyrie did not ask out. Kevin Durant did. Big difference. Well, hey AJ, we're getting out of here. Didn't you say next stream we'll take call-ins?
yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, that'll be hilarious.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun next stream.
People are
Oh
gonna be
my God.
they're the toxic Nets fans.
Yeah, I'll make sure when we tweet out when we send out like we're gonna do call-ins. All right.
Yeah, Collins next stream.
Yeah.
Let the people gotta let the people's voice be heard, you know.
Hey, and I'm officially out of like the Clax Dayron like battle because they're both
Really?
not cutting it. They're not cutting it. Like I can't even fight with you, AJ, anymore about.
What about
Claxton
Team
or
Dayron, bro?
Listen. I still love Dayron. Like I see potential in Dayron, just like Jay loves Kessler, right? Like that's Jay.
Yeah.
That's Jay's due right there. Jay loves that guy. I feel the same way about Dayron, but I cannot, in good conscience, battle about Claxton Dayron anymore because it just is like you'll have one game where Clax looks fucking fantastic, and then you'll have a game where Dayron's looked really good, and then you have multiple games where they just both come out and they look atrocious. And they're, like if we're honest, Clax is really not the center we need. We like what he brings defensively, perimeter wise. But he's an atrocious rebounder. He's not a great shot blocker. He still has zero game around the hoop unless he's being fed an alley oop. And then Dayron gets lost out there, overplays, over defends. He has a much better game offensively around the offensively than Clax does. He has better hands than Clax, but even still, he struggles at rebounding. He still gets outplayed, pushed around. He does have his moments, but even he's been struggling to rebound unless it's like a lesser of teams. So it's like I can't confidently sit here and say one is better than the other when they both do almost completely different things. And at the end of the day, neither of them are really cutting it for what we need. So it's like I don't want to say, I hate saying this, but if I had to trade one of them and somebody else, or Cam or Patty or whoever, Joe Harris, to get what we want, I'm all for it, right? At the end of the day, do I love Dayron? Yes, love Dayron to turn into the player I think he is, just like you feel. But if I'm being honest, if they're going in a trade to get us a legit 5, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a good career, and I'll keep an eye on you because I like how you play from time to time. But I'm past the part of, especially when it comes to the rookies and other players on this team, I no longer if you've got to go for us to get better, peace out. I'm done. I want, because let's be honest. If this season's another wash, you can honestly make the case it's time to blow it up.
Oh my God. We got to end this.
Jay, am I wrong by that? If this season doesn't result in something spectacular, I'm not saying championship, but if this season doesn't result in a very final, Easter Conference Finals, at least you have to, I'm sorry, at some point, because you are getting to that point. You've got a Kyrie potential negotiation. You've got some of these other players. You just, at some point, you either got to go all in, or you got to move on.
I'll say this, and it's well noted how I don't believe in this coaching staff because they're the worst coaching staff in the NBA. The talent on this team, we should have multiple 10-plus game winning streaks.
I agree.
And there's no getting around that. I don't care about back-to-backs, no letdown games. We should have multiple 10-game winning streaks during this season based on the talent on this team alone.
I agree.
And that includes having a solid defense and having it where you were speaking about at the beginning of the season, where you're able to turn a couple of good possessions or a couple of good minutes of solid defense into 8 to 10 minutes of solid defense, a full quarter where you stifle somebody and hold the team to 8 to 12 points. We should see that, and I'm not expecting that in the first game versus the Pelicans, but at certain points of this season, we should see that, and we should become a feared team.
I agree. It's going to be interesting. Appreciate everybody hung around, 200 people chilling, talking. It was very tough for us to actually get on stream or even spaces. It was a very lackluster game. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button if you're an obsessed nerd fan like us. Exactly. I agree.
I was like, yes, we are still on because we're obsessed. Frustrated Nets fans, yes.
I'm hoping in the next two preseason games, like they give us something to be a little bit more positive about tonight. I think the biggest negative today was effort. The effort really killed all ability to really like give you anything to feel positive about. There were a couple positives, couple players, but I think we need more. I don't want to start the season like how we're playing in preseason. There can't be any more excuses. You've got to be able to get out there. You've talked a big game. You guys were shit in the bed all off season with the potential trades. You guys made it all sound kumbaya. Everybody says they're happy to be there. The energy's there. The vibe has changed. Well, the vibe looked like shit tonight. So if that's the thing, yeah, blame Saint. Exactly. Blame me.
Somebody said hashtag blame Steve Nash. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Blames the hashtag trade Dayron.
Everybody in the chat. Shout out all the mods.
Hashtag dump Steve crash.
Shout out all the hashtags in the Nicholas Reese. Shout out Joey BK. Shout out you guys, bro.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Amy Parker. Appreciate the super chat. I pray they fire Steve Nash. He's never animated. He never seems mad. Always passive. Fans are pissed. He needs to step up and get fired. I want a chip. I don't disagree with you. This is literally what he looked like on the bench tonight. Literally, in fact, that's what every bench coach looked like tonight, except when we got scored on. Nash got up, clapped, pointed, and then sat back down. And he yelled something. I don't know what he yelled. It could have just been, and then he sat down. I don't know. I don't know what he said. Trade Saint for Myles Turner. Dude, if it took trading me to get Myles Turner and it was better for us, I'd do it. I'd get traded for you.
He said I'll trade myself. Yo, this is a crazy stream,
yeah. But blame Canadian Bacon, Big Rube.
Yo, Trade Mills, he is a cone, yo.
Oh my.
What did somebody say?
Right under blame Canadian Bacon, yo. Trade Mills, he is a cone.
It was diarrhea tonight. Oh, they were all sick, right? Send Dayron to the 36ers.
Oh, no. Get out of here. We got to be out. Yeah.
Trade Dayron. Trade someone for a printer.
Yeah,
I need a couple more in chat, and then I'll shut it down. Give me a couple more. Two more.
He said trade Dayron to the 36ers is crazy.
Trade someone for a printer, yo.
We're not at that point yet. This is just we're not at that point yet.
Bro, I'd rather have Scoop be as Nets coach. Facts. I would too.
Yo.
I would though. I would take Scoop as a coach over to Nash. You kidding? Cut Patty, please. Trade Clax for you fat. Yes. I forgot to bring that up, dude. The fact that an announcer said a 3 from you fat was probably
he said that?
Best. Yeah, dude.
That's the dude's last name.
That's his dude straight up. Dude, it exactly says you
that's
fat.
His last name, yo.
He's from like somewhere in Africa. Where was the country? Nigeria.
I don't know where he's from, but out of respect for fat chicks, I'm only gonna call him Ho.
Okay.
So, you know.
Yes, but dude, that guy, that literally correct spelling is on the dude's jersey, and the announcer straight up said, you fat from 3. And he's like, no, I am not insulting you. That is actually the man's name. Oh, he's from Guyana. That's right.
I can't wait till he plays K-Cock and to hear Iron Eagle talk about K-Cock rejects Ho.
You fat. Hashtag bring back LeBron Johnson. Oh shit. All right. Good night, y'all. We will see you next. I won't see you Wednesday, but they will. See you guys.